it's one of the best platforms in its field, but that was never a bar that ever was set. Right.
There's a lot of good competitors, but none of them quite cut the mustard.
Yeah,
And it just takes so much money to develop everything, especially because this isn't a Dungeons and Dragons platform. This is agnostic. It just happens to be really good at it.
Yeah.
So I guess before we start, does anyone need help getting their character together?
Mentally or...
Alright. So I think more so what Nick's getting at here is we should probably just quickly run over for Jordo, Adrian, and John. We've already had a quick talk about Adrian's character and some suggestions around the way he had chosen his stat line. He had dumped Dex, and that was going to make it very easy for him to get very hurt very quickly.
I heeded Nick's suggestions.
Yep. So the character Mancer gives you a pretty good walkthrough of creating a character. I haven't seen a tool do it as well as it. I'm honestly impressed by the tool itself. But from there, leveling up can either be done through the character Mancer, or we actually can directly edit any individual field on our character sheet. I don't get updates when you guys make changes to your character sheet and the like, so technically you can go in and just do what Nick's just done and give yourself 700 HP. We're going to use the don't be a cunt system for...
You can cheat at this game? Whoa, that's going to make it really easy.
You don't want to see Tiamat regenerating 7,000 life a turn. So, yeah.
The DM can cheat way more than we can.
I choose to stand away from Nick.
When the inevitable smite comes.
Alright. So, okay, I think we've got our characters, because I'm seeing HP values above everyone, so that indicates to me that all the character sheets are completed. Let's see. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not really explaining what I'm doing. I've just seen John's hit the final button on his character creation, so I was just seeing if there was any things like the fuck did Adrian do? Oh yeah, dump stat Dex.
Yeah. On a bard.
Yeah. Yeah, on John, you might want to consider the same of swapping your strength and Dex. Dex leads into your armor class when you're not wearing heavy armor. It also goes into your initiative. Depending how you're playing your... so just on the sheet, if you hit the cog wheel, just change Dex to 14 and Strength to 10 if you want to swap the two. It's pretty much everything on that screen is editable, like in real life when it's a piece of paper. Yeah, that also works fine. Druids don't necessarily have to be charismatic either. Yeah. Otherwise, that looks good. Good. Chosen spells and the like. Okay. And then someone was pressing buttons, and that's fine. Someone just accidentally pressed something. So yeah, again, it's just going to follow. Don't be a dickhead. Don't be a cunt. However you want to phrase it. I use a system for player-to-player interactions. There is friendly fire. There is not active PvP. I'm not interested in trying to run a player versus player session because outside of just the fucking intensity of trying to keep track of two players' input, I don't get to play the game.
And the game is not built for that. It is
Oh
garbage.
god, it so is not. The other thing is that I will always run with victim's advantage. So if you want to be a dick to another player, you want to like try and pickpocket an item off a mate. They are always aware that you're trying to do it, and they can always choose your test to fail. So if you're gonna try and fuck with each other, make sure you're both okay fucking with each other, because otherwise you just lose. It is in, or the campaign setting is going to be a bit more dark, a little horrific in a lot of ways. There's
we'll always have Shrock for comic book.
Shrock in his swamp. There's, let me say, just because something is dark does not mean it's humorless. Dark humor is a very common thing, and I think that has been leaned into very heavily already in this conversation.
Look,
thank you,
I'm
Nick,
just
for the
saying,
colourful
Hitler had
language.
some okay ideas.
Here, there's a lot that we can all learn from Hitler. It's why he's taught in schools.
How to suicide.
So yeah,
How to,
it's
how
going to be a
to commit
dark
suicide
setting.
in 2 easy world wars.
It's a dark setting. There's going to be violence. There's going to be misery and all that. I am not going to run anything sexualized to any real extent. If you guys want to
God,
fuck something, the screen fades to black. and that's all the fuckery I'm dealing with. If you guys want to, like, there's plenty of like WoW servers to do your roleplay in. It's fine.
Enemy today is a werewolf. Scott, you need to screen the fade black right now.
D&D is a party game. It's not an individual game. When you're looking at the way your character's going to act, when you're looking at the way you're interacting with the world, remember that you're part of the story. You're not the story. You're acting with your party members together. Trying to divide the group up because it's what your character would do to lone wolf means that you can, like, you're not going to be in the campaign. It's just it's simple like that. It needs to be explicitly said, but a lot of people will kind of like drill down the idea, hey, this is what my character would do, but in essence your character should be someone who is a part of this story that we're all going through together.
And just to call it out, there's a very big difference between like the stealthy type scouting ahead and what Scott was describing. Like, some people are like, okay, you guys are going to go do the quest for the king. I'm just going to go like rob some paupers.
I'm gonna go walk into the forest and grind wolves until I'm level 20.
Yes. So I think Nick has elaborated on that quite succinctly, but Jordan, you do raise another point that I've been explicit to in the past, but I'll reiterate. We are not using an XP-based system for leveling. We're using milestone events. So completing various worldly things is what's going to generate your levels, not necessarily just through killing more things. You are more than welcome in your downtime to go hunt and kill wolves. It's not going to reward you with anything except levels of exhaustion and lower.
Can I roll to skin the wolves? And then
You
sell
can.
pelts?
Oh,
Yeah.
and fun fact, the final stage of exhaustion in this game, it stacks 6 times. The final stage is death.
Oh, yeah.
And there is a subclass of barbarian that actively gives itself exhaustion as part of its class.
They're so
It's
angry they die.
It's the stupidest thing. Because assuming you use the core thing more than once per day, which is really expected for the class, you will kill yourself.
Within a week.
It's not even a week. A high-level barbarian might be able to do it in a day. They got so angry they had a heart attack. Okay. So yeah, we'll use milestones for it. In terms of the timings and everything, obviously, the timing is from 12:30 to 4:30 my time, which is 2:30 to 6:30 Australia time. At least at the moment, as things kind of move on, we can look at that timing, but Saturday tends to be the best day for me. If you are unable to make a session, just let the group know as early as you can. The way in which I intend to handle characters who are not present is if the player is not present, then the character just kind of vanishes into the ether until that player returns. And we balance it based upon how many players we have at the table. It is very frustrating as a DM to try and guess what a player would do, and it never ends well. So I personally do not enjoy trying to run other players' characters while they're not present. So as a group, I prefer to just have the consensus of they just haven't logged in and their character therefore isn't in D&D that day. It obviously creates massive plot holes, and that is something that I just need everyone to be okay living with.
He woke up and he was incredibly constipated, so he's in the shitter for the entire day.
Exactly. You might be 3 sessions deep in a dungeon crawl, but yes, he just went to the bathroom. He'll be back next week. In terms of the actual way of playing D&D, it's commonly broken down into 3 categories, which is combat, exploration, and social interaction or role play. Depending how much the group enjoys each of those will probably dictate how much each of those components is emphasized in each setting. I think that from the background of the group, there's probably going to be a lot more interest in the combat and the exploration as we get settled into the setting. So that will likely bring the main line of everything, at least as we get started. Combat, I will try and streamline as much as we can. I've set up the game so when you roll by default, it should show 2 numbers come out. That's just it makes it easier because we don't have to make multiple selections for advantage, disadvantage, and regular rolls. So if you're rolling with a regular roll, why have you done this, Nick? So the 2 rolls will come out. The number on the left is your regular roll, if I remember correctly. So if there's nothing else added, we take the number on the left. Otherwise, we already have both numbers up for advantage and disadvantage. Also, when we roll, it automatically shows the damage that we're dealing. Having all of those numbers ready just makes combat move quicker. A lot of games will hide a lot of things like the AC of enemies, and that I'll try and be open, especially when we're dealing with lesser monsters, about what you're trying to overcome with your rolls. That just kind of helps move those moments forward. We were just playing around before with the dynamic lighting for the exploration side of as we move through places, because ideally I will give control to your individual tokens to each of you. One of those things, though, with the lighting and the way Roll20 is you can technically just drag your token anywhere. As such, I'm not going to have a fog of war system, so we don't accidentally reveal things that we shouldn't see when people make mistakes moving their token. That way we can hide it if there is situations where people want to stop and map out the dungeon. I've got ways of kind of overriding it and putting in place things to permanently have it visible. But for the most part, just kind of remember where you've been. Imagine it's real life and you're walking through a location. You
And
don't sit down and you take maps.
And
What's
you've
up?
immediately forgotten where you've just been.
I mean, sometimes you do, but sometimes you don't.
It can be oppressive because it's just outside of your vision. It's just a black void.
Okay. What else did I want to run through on the platform? Obviously, I think Nick and I are the only ones with like a decent background in actually playing this. Most of these systems, for the most part, make a lot of sense, but that's also on the assumption after having played for so long. If you do have any questions, I'm always happy to answer. And so I am sure me putting Nick on the spot, he is also more than happy to help.
Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah. One sec. I just need to blow my nose.
Strahd's penis is 6.9 feet.
There will be there will be a quiz later. Please remember the size of Strahd's penis. So yeah. That's kind of the way in which I'll run things. Obviously, it's going to be a little slow to start, but everyone will kind of get the rhythm of it after some time. I won't be absolutely strict with rules. I think that the rules are more a system for us to be able to do things in, and a lot of the times there's certain spells, abilities, or interactions where they don't always make the most sense. So bring it forward as a group in how we want certain things to work. There will be points in this where I do make mistakes. I don't want to have to retcon back to an earlier point. So unless it's something egregious, I will just move the story forward, and going forward we'll make sure to adhere to the way it should have been as opposed to the way it happened that one time, sort of thing.
The rule of cool.
Yep. That is also another aspect. I was more so speaking on misinterpretations of rules. So rule of cool is if, something like if someone has an idea and, it's pretty viable that it should work a certain way, we kind of just make it work that way in that situation. So, things like some guards have, some people have like bunkered down in a 2-story house, and they've got crossbows at the ready, and you're trying to work out your approach, and you just throw a fireball through the front door. Like, technically it shouldn't start burning the house down, but it's fun if it does. Those sort of things. Nick googling fireball house. Thank you, Nick. What else? Okay. The next thing is probably around the introduction to the campaign, the world, and the setting that we're in. So the module that I was suggesting that I'd be okay running would be Curse of Strahd. It's something I've run before, done a lot of prep work in the past. So week on week, the prep work isn't that much for me in terms of overhead. So it works out quite well for me, the consumer. As the introduction prior to the module, though, there is a short adventure that will bring us, or bring the party, or at least those who make it, from level 1 up to level 3. and then we'll find a way of introducing the actual campaign setting of Curse of Strahd. We'll also, try and get feedback, because it will probably be 2 or 3 weeks of us getting through the short adventure first and just kind of getting a feel for what people enjoy, what people don't enjoy, make sure that the module still makes sense, because Curse of Strahd itself is quite a long module. The last time I ran it for 7 months. There was, I think, a month in there where we didn't play, but otherwise we're fairly consistent, so it can take...
It took too long to find the badonk button.
Why are you looking up how long is long, Nick?
It's this long. This is how long Curse of Strahd is.
Oh god. Yeah. So the other thing is, modules tend to be how long is a piece of string. If people try and brute force, bum rush, speed run a module, you could probably get modules like this done very quickly. But if you want to explore, learn more about the world, and do some interesting things in the world, it will take longer. A lot of the settings, though, of Curse of Strahd is very heavily leans on the imagery and like the stories around things like Dracula. Very first iteration of Curse of Strahd was literally just the castle itself, and was very, very much just Dracula at the top, but I think Dracula was copyrighted at this time.
Yeah, the campaign used to be called Ravenloft.
Mhm. So they have slowly expanded out from being just a campaign set in a castle to a campaign being set in a semi-open world. I quite enjoy the campaign setting. Hope people enjoy it. But if you are finding that you are not enjoying the campaign setting, it is still worth just raising it. And if we do get a consensus from the group that the setting or the style of gameplay isn't working out, then it's better to know early so that we can adjust. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to cover off. I guess table etiquette around try not to interrupt people. Try and pay attention. I mean, ideally, I'd hope that people aren't just, watching a YouTube video and just waiting for their name to be called 3 times. I mean, this isn't a WoW raid. Eating food, drinking, I'm fine with it as long as you're not hot micing too hard. I'm perfectly okay with people drinking while we play, as it tends to be what we do on a Saturday together anyway. I'm assuming that... You're okay, Nick?
I have ADHD, don't mind me.
I would assume that no one minds me drinking as well, as long as I'm not blind drunk and belligerent as I try and explain the world to you.
If we get to Strahd and you aren't blind drunk for the entire thing, I will be very disappointed.
Yeah, we should try and find out something common we can eat together, because there's a few scenes where, like, you'll be invited out to dinner as a big outlay of social interaction. Just make sure that we're all like feasting and getting real drunk and all of that bullshit. What else can I say? From there, I'd probably just say, hey, do you guys have any questions about the system? Any help that you need with character creation or anything like that?
Will this be on the test?
Yes.
Every
Yes.
word Scott said will be on the test. Shall we?
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, so I put a little blurb together over where we're all at. So the party is currently under the employment of the Merchants of Iron. Merchants of Iron is I wouldn't say so much a group of merchants as they are a group of mercenaries. So they sell the iron of those in their employ. They deal a lot with finding adventurers who will do work for either glory or coin. The group of you guys have been asked to go to a location, Forgotten Realms, where a merchant family has lost contact with their adult children. Near that township, and I'm already feeling underprepared as I forgot the name of the town that it's located near. Near Oakhurst, there is a fissure in the ground, a ravine, where there's a natural split in the earth. Under there has been reports of a goblin infestation, and these goblins had been bringing out about once a month a special fruit. This fruit had been sold to the local township for a fairly reasonable sum of money, because each of these fruits had very strong healing properties. This merchant family, the two younger children, had attempted to go down in and find the source of the fruit where the goblins were getting it, dispatch with the goblins and kind of take the entire system for themselves so that they could then be in control of the supply of goods and therefore make greater profit off the same. They have reached out to the Merchants of Iron to be able to help recover their children, as they are believed to be lost or stranded. But should you find them dead, instead bringing back their signet as proof would still net a reward for the same. So in this, we are currently traveling towards our destination, little ravine out from Oakhurst. The party finds themselves in, say, a wagon on way to this location. From there, what I'd probably ask is just to get some introductions from each of you. So I'll start with left to right on my screen, Nick. Do you want to introduce your character?
Sure, I am Garum. I am a tiefling sorcerer, and the source of my sorcerer magic is actually divine. So while my bloodline is evil, my powers are good, and I'm a big mix of both. Do you want more?
No, that's fine.
What do you look like?
I am short for a human. I'm 5'7". Completely red skin. Got two big horns poking out of the top of my head, and my eyes are. If you hadn't seen me see things, you'd think I was blind because my eyes are completely milky white.
Point of order. Does my character know that tieflings are not intrinsically all evil?
I
Yes.
would say that you would know that. You do have access to make that assessment of people with a class feature. I think you already have. So, divine sense.
Okay.
We could say that having boarded much earlier in the, let's say, week that it takes to get through to this ravine, you would have been suspicious of other people on there. There isn't anyone that would necessarily come across as being proper evil within the group of people in this.
And the class mechanic doesn't show up good or evil. It shows up fiends, undead, and...
Yeah, we had this discussion when we played Celesta, and evil doesn't mean evil anymore. Evil means, like, bad creature, not an evil person.
You're probably right. I'm just putting it in the text to see.
The other thing is that, oh wow, they specifically call out Strahd in that one. That's funny.
I thought it was cute, but this is like, I don't even think the 5e Strahd book was published when this was written.
No, it wasn't. But tieflings are fairly common in the world. Like, they aren't a rare thing.
Okay. There's a very good chance I would have found one before and gone, "Hey, demon," and then been told, "No, idiot, not demon." Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I think I've misinterpreted Divine Sense then, because, you know, it explicitly says strong evil in the outlay of it, but then it actually has nothing to do with it. I would also say that I wouldn't worry too much about alignments again. They're kind of done away with in 5e. As like a mechanic, they used to matter a lot in earlier editions, but Wizards kind of found them very restrictive in what they would actually allow for. So from there, again on my screen, the next one I've got up is Gorgo. Do you want to introduce your character and what you look like?
Hi, I am Leon. I am a obviously level 1 half-elf paladin. I have grown out my hair and beard in order to cover half-elf features, such as the jawline and ears, so they're covered by hair or clothing where possible. What else do you need to introduce?
I guess nothing. That kind of gives a brief understanding of who you are. Next up in my order would be Adrian.
Apologize, Barraback.
Fuck.
Hello, my name is Shrok, sorry. As you can tell, I'm not very intelligent. I already mispronounced my name. But what he lacks in intelligence, he is very much so in charisma. He's very charismatic. He's a tall guy, 6'9". Yeah, and you can see his... Where is it? I'm just looking for the instrument.
Let's see. So I'm also looking at. Oh, if you look under the tools and proficiencies, I definitely see it there.
Is that? Yeah, horns, bagpipes, viol, and shawm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a one-man band.
All right. Yep. And then last off the rank, John.
So yeah, Dragonborn, White Dragonborn, so affinity to cold. My character, whatever, was given the task to look after a relic of some power that was not understood. But it was mostly solitary thing because it kind of it what would you call, has like influencing properties that again not understood, and kind of make the people close to it like berserk, I suppose, is in a way, probably over a long time. And now all I know is that I must kill chaos because of it. Yeah, pretty much.
God, I hope Nick has some intellect. Otherwise, I feel like I'm going to be guarding a bunch of idiots around. What's your character's name, John?
Callus.
All right. And that kind of gives us a introduction to Callison. Okay, so let me try and find the introduction. Okay, so as we start to get close to our destination, the old road that the wagon is passing along, as you kind of get close, you can see that to the east there's this narrow ravine that has kind of split the earth. At the road's closest approach to the cleft of this ravine, there's several broken pillars that jut from the earth where the ravine is kind of at its widest. Two of the pillars stand straight up, but mostly in a top sloped earth. Others are broken, and several have apparently fallen down into the depths of the ravine. A few small pillars are visible on the opposite side of the ravine. As your wagon kind of comes to a halt, you can see that there has been a sturdy knotted rope that has been tied through to one of the pillars next to the ravine and kind of goes down to, let's say, like a platform that's about, say, about 40 feet. Let me actually check. It's 80 feet. 80 feet down. Should I actually be seeing this on screen? Not yet. So I don't have a physical image of that part of the map. I can confirm. I have so many things. Okay. And it's not until the part that we'll actually move off the big Curse of Strahd landing page. Some of the combat, some of the exploration. I do have a lot of maps for things that we don't necessarily need to be doing combat on, but anywhere we do combat, I will try and have a map ready because it can be a bit hard otherwise. Okay, so as the cart comes to a halt there, you can see the rope that is going down into the chasm that is this ravine. The person who has been kind of driving and steering the cart for the part here brings us to a halt and is just saying, all right, guys, we're here. Need you guys to go and try and recover these two children.
Is Nick back?
I don't know. I don't think so. Let me go grab a coffee.
I could just assume he's sleeping. Although the first thing you would do is just wake him up.
Is he on Machete? Oh no, Jordan, your profile picture has reverted.
Why?
I don't know.
Fixed.
Oh,
No, fixed it. Congrats. Do we have a Nick?
No.
no.
Okay, so there were 3 people in the cart.
And one in the shitter.
Exactly. Okay.
Well, I mean, while he's AFK, bear it back water, I guess.
Sure.
Can I open
So-
other people's character sheets, or is that just
No.
a? No, okay, sure. I won't spend any more time trying to find a way.
It's currently set up so that the only people who can see the character sheets are the players who have the character, and then me, because I can see
Of course.
everything.
Yeah.
I'm omnipotent. I am all powerful.
I mean, I kind of gathered because like I can only see my HP on the kind of like on the icons, tokens. So I assumed that was probably the case, but I thought I'd just check.
Oh, Nick is back.
Hello. I've been back for like 12 seconds.
Yeah. We were memeing on it, and we all decided to take a break because you were taking too long.
I'm back.
Made a quick
Oh,
buck.
terrific. So, as the tiefling returns from the shitter, the party finds themselves at the edge of the ravine. So, we can see that there is a.
Oh, I don't think you've updated the thing.
The thing?
Nick is upset that there isn't a map to show him what a ravine looks like.
But you said, as you can see.
Oh.
So how did the how did
God,
It's going to be enough deliberately obtuseness in this.
that's going to take 3 hours to cross a ravine?
Oh.
All right, so are we all up to date, and does Nick know where we are?
No, we're at a ravine.
Perfect.
Okay, so Nick, the party has approached the side of the ravine where there is, what the fuck are they called? The stone penises, pillars,
Spires?
Stonehenge?
spires. Oh, God. Yeah, they're all pillars. So there's a series of stone pillars that are next to a deep ravine. We have found that there is a knotted rope tied to one of the pillars that traverses down into what looks like a platform about 80 feet below.
Right.
We can see that.
Can I... am I allowed to like upload pictures and stuff to this without being the GM?
Maybe. I've never tried because
Can you post it in chat?
what
I don't think
No.
so.
Can't upload pictures into that.
is there? What would you?
I literally just wanted to like change the background from Curse of Strahd to a Minecraft picture of a ravine for Nick's benefit, so he could understand what a ravine looks like.
Oh God! It wasn't even published in the fucking recent version of the fucking story. Oh, give me a sec.
How big are the pillars?
Okay.
About 30 feet tall.
Big.
Almost as big as Strahd's penis.
So have we been sent to go to this location, or is this on the way?
So you have been. Oh God! You literally were just away for the entire thing, weren't you?
Oh, because intros were happening.
Wow.
It's at this moment. Damn. Oh no.
Let me rephrase. When I left, introductions were happening. I thought introductions would still be happening when I returned.
Yeah, that's not any better, mate.
You thought it would be. Give me a sec.
We should have just straight up paused when he went AFK.
My mother-in-law arrived and just
Oh
thing.
no. You don't want that. What character is she playing?
No.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, my.
Is everyone happy now?
Yes. Are you going to draw it? Like Microsoft Paint?
How do I put the token on the screen?
Oh, for fuck's sake, Nick. Over here.
Fuck's sake. How do I... Hang on, give me a sec.
Oh, shit, how do I stop drawing?
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Hey, a ravine.
Oh, I see. I thought you
How
were
do
meaning
I
with the blank
erase?
picture.
Oh, I put it on the GM layer, not on the map layer. So I was like, okay, guys, you can see this now. And you're like, yes. And start drawing on a blank piece of paper. It's like I handed you cunts a printout.
How do I erase my...
You just click drag a box over it and you'll select it and then you can just hit delete.
Also, if you look under the drawing icon, at the bottom it says clear drawing and it just clears out all your drawings on the entire map.
Oh, I had no idea.
What is that?
Okay. Welcome back, Jordo.
My push to talk is also the browser back button, and this is getting really annoying for me. I'm trying to just fix that real quick.
I'd forgotten browser back buttons are a thing.
Wait,
Okay,
what?
fixed it. No, we're good.
You don't have a back button on your mouse?
But what you just said is very problematic, and I don't like it.
Why are you like this? Okay, so Nick, I'll just kind of summarize. You guys were in a wagon together. The wagon is being operated by someone who works for the company you guys work for.
Yep.
He has dropped you off and told you, go into the ravine and try and rescue the two, like the children of this merchant family.
Right, well, that's real fucking specific, so off we go.
Well, yeah,
That's why I didn't think I'd need a map to show you, hey, there's a rope to climb down and you've been instructed to climb down the rope.
through the power of imagination.
Why are the goblins in a ravine?
Why
We
wouldn't
are
they be?
going to find that out as we explore.
Go ask them. I'm sure they'll be very accommodating.
Would you like to make a history check on why goblins would want to be in a ravine? If you click the history button on your character sheet, it will roll a die.
Oh, cool. Sure, fuck it. Why not? Let's do that.
History button.
Hey,
Wait,
Schrock got a
actually,
2 on
13.
history.
What's
So,
13?
okay, so I had mentioned before that the number on the left is just the first roll, but I've set it up so it always rolls 2 dice. That way, if we do advantage or disadvantage, we don't have to then like mess about with settings.
Okay, cool. So we
Okay.
take the number on the left unless we have advantage or
So
disadvantage.
Schrock was the first one to give a history check on trying to understand why, and he gets to have the understanding here. So Schrock, to the best of your knowledge, having seen a goblin before, you're fairly sure that the reason in which they would be so deep underground is because they're so short.
Okay.
Thanks, Schrock.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Nick, you probably have a general vague idea that goblins live in caves, and there's probably just a cave somewhere downstairs.
Do we all get
Or
to make
download.
one of these? I was under the impression one
So,
person could do this.
The way in which I would normally do it is very dependent on the situation. Most of the time, when you're trying to do an activity that not everyone can do simultaneously, one person gets to do it, and if anyone else is proficient in the same, they can aid that person to give them advantage on their roll. When it's something like you're all trying to find a path together or try and be stealthy together, I would get the entire party to roll, and I would then take how many people kind of passed the threshold and how many fell under the threshold. And if the majority pass, then it's considered a group pass. If the majority fail, it's considered a group fail. When it comes to kind of things like understand the history and background, it really comes down to first qualifier is when you're making a roll, you should have the potential of being able to be successful in it. Otherwise, I wouldn't call for a roll. It just slows the game down. With a question like, why would goblins be down in a ravine? You kind of like an orc would kind of know a bit about goblins, but most people would know a bit about goblins, the lore and the history that have come there. If it was something like very, very specific to like a location, and if no one's been to those locations or they haven't been studying something, then I wouldn't qualify them to be able to try and remember anything about the situation. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah.
So, given how kind of useless that is to know, I'm just going to not roll in order to make things keep moving a little faster.
Sure.
The rule of not being a dick, I suppose. I could roll for literally everything. Why is the grass green? Rolls a history check, but there's no point.
Well, yeah, yeah.
So
There is one thing that we could do that I'll just make a call out. If anyone has a decent survival skill, looking for goblin tracks up on the ground here might be helpful.
Fair.
Yep.
I do not.
So I would say anyone who has taken proficiency in survival would be able to
I have a score of 2, but not proficiency.
look
Sure is higher than
for
mine.
something specific.
Sure.
If you're not proficient, then I would just say you can roll to kind of see is there like a worn path? Like, is it obvious that people are coming this way? I don't mind if anyone would want to roll that.
Well, that's where the question was
if-
going.
Yeah, like if the party wants to stop and just try and examine to kind of get a feel for the area, how well used it is, and the like, then I would just say between the group, just pick someone to roll with advantage on that as the group just kind of surveys the area to just kind of see, is it in use?
Oh, shit.
My God.
Perfect. John pushed the button. So, John, you can see that this area, well, there's kind of two pieces of information you can get. You can see that there is very recent activity. You can see that the ropes itself kind of have a almost polish to it from heavy use, where like normally a rope becomes quite fray when it's kind of left idle, but you can see that all of the small little fraying on the ropes have just kind of been smoothed over from heavy use. You can see not only is this pathway heavily used, you can also see from this location specifically, there's a lot of divergent tracks off the primary path that we're going. So you can see that there is probably quite a large number of creatures that is using this rope on a semi-regular basis. You would suspect that there's probably somewhere between 40 to 80 creatures in the past week that has come up through this pathway. And most of the tracks that you've seen have been of relatively small creatures, so something under the size of a normal human. You can also see that there is some little like torn up clothing, like a little scrap of linen or cloth that has been snagged on the like this pillar. If that comes through, does my ping come through? No, that's
Nah.
Draw a circle around it?
Draw a penis?
Oh, yeah.
to kind of here. Oh, I know. For fuck's sake, come off the GM list. So you would see like on here that someone's kind of rested, but their clothes have been caught on it, and it looks like the cloth has been pretty recent. There's no like, it's not dirtied, it's not damaged. It looks like pretty clean.
Sure. So my character would infer that's probably one of the children's clothes. Possibly.
Mm-hmm.
So the rest of us won't know anything about that unless you tell us.
Okay, so all right, so my character. All right then, my character or me. What should I say? Me. Yes, I point out the cloth and take it from the totem pillar, whatever, and show it to the group and say that we're probably on the right trail. And then the second parts of that would be to scout the alternate paths and perhaps look for another way down, which isn't the main thoroughfare.
Okay. While he's doing that, I go and check the rope and see if it will take my weight.
How long will John's scouting take?
I would say that you kind of get a feel. I would say a couple of minutes at most. The ravine here is not particularly long. It's probably only a couple of 100 feet.
Yeah. I wouldn't be spending much time on it if
Yep. Well, John runs off and just quickly checks to see if there's any alternative pathways down. Jordo, the rope does look quite heavy and sturdy. It does look like even under Shrock's weight that it should be able to hold. It isn't like a very light tie rope. This is a proper heavy, almost like the sort of rope that you'd expect to see on a barge, as opposed to what you would normally see for individuals climbing efforts.
Okay. I just check the rope over for any kind of frays or anything that looks like it's going to snap in case I do get onto it.
Yeah. Okay. I would say that, like, for the most part, the rope looks like it's well maintained and it's heavily used. There doesn't seem to be anything obviously wrong, at least from the top section where you are.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell everyone I'm heading down and start climbing down.
So around the same time, we have kind of John coming back. He's had a look around. For the most part, the split in the or the ravine that's caused in this kind of split earth scenario isn't particularly long, but this seems to be the only way down, as even at the narrowest points of the split in the earth, it is probably 250 to 300 feet to the ground, and this particular section is probably only about 80 feet to a raised platform.
Can I see to the actual straight bottom of the ravine, all the way to the bottom?
You can kind of see down. For the most part, it looks mostly natural. But if you pay, let's say, more particular attention, at least from the angle you are at, you can see that directly down to where the rope naturally stops, there is a I would say, can you give me a perception roll? 15, yeah. So you can kind of see that there appears to be a very, very flat surface, like a bit too flat to be natural, and almost what looks like tiles, like very large tiling. It's not perfectly tiled, but it seems to be forcibly flattened, and it's got almost a staircase to it that kind of leads down. There is possibly kind of more off to the side. Like it kind of looks like as you get past this initial ravine section, it kind of opens up, but you can't really see from where you guys are standing exactly how big the opening is.
Am I on the rope at this point, or still up on the cliff?
So you'd be getting ready to get on the rope, and everyone else would be there with you. Are you guys sending Gorgo down alone, or are you guys following him?
I'll get in with him.
Well, I'm definitely.
follow.
You guys wait until I'm down. Don't get on the rope at the same time. One person on the rope at a time. I'll tell them that what I saw. So it looks like there's some ruins down there. Looks like there's some sort of structure that's being built. That's probably where we should check.
Are you calling that up, or are
Yeah.
you yelling?
Well, I'm on the lip of the rope.
Okay.
I'm
You haven't
like
gone
1
down
foot over, so my head's
okay.
still like above the ground level, and I'm just telling them that.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I'll climb down the rope until the platform.
Yep. You find that it's relatively easy to climb down the rope because it's been knotted every couple of feet so that you can make a good footing. So it's not a challenging climb down. It just takes some time. From there, you find yourself at this platform area. Let me try and bring up the text associated with it. The annoying thing is I go look at other notes when people ask questions I don't expect, so I put down my other notes that have the actual things that are happening now. Okay.
And at the first available rope safe moment, I climb down.
So it looks like I'm off the bottom. So I'm going to yell up and say it's fine, it's safe. Someone else come down.
So at this, because of how Roll20 works, you're the only one who can actually see what's on the map at the moment.
Oh, that's really cool. I thought it changed for everyone.
So
Wow, that's something you can't do in real life. That's cool.
what?
Show a completely different map to one of the players.
Everyone sees the same map. It's just none of the others have had their tokens put on yet, so they don't get the vision.
Oh, I thought
So,
you meant they literally could not see what I personally could see. Okay.
All I see is a black.
I mean,
yeah,
look at my
like if you
stream.
look
Oh,
at
yeah,
Nick's
cool, so-
stream, it's just black.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you can't do that in real life because everyone would physically be able to see the map that's on the table.
Yeah. I didn't know it would work this way until we just did it, and I saw Nick's stream, and I was like, "What have I done wrong?" Then I realized.
No, I can see it. It's cool.
So a sandy ledge kind of overlooks a subterranean gulf of darkness off to the west. The ledge is wide but rough, sandy, rocky debris, and bones of like very small animals, maybe like mice, rat, foxes. A rough hewn stairwell kind of zigzags down the ledge, descending into darkness. At this point, it's kind of like really starting to become obvious that the light's going to be fading as you kind of get lower and lower into the ravine. There, for the most part, it kind of feels safe, but there is just like this little fireplace or fire pit that people have been using previously. Apart from that, everything looks safe. I think next up would be Nick.
There we go.
Comes down.
Sick.
And then I believe, is it Adrian and John? Or Schrock then?
Is this
Callison?
based off initiative values or
It was
choice.
just whoever said it first.
sure?
Yeah,
For
just
the most part,
deciding.
yeah. There is definitely value in making sure things are safe to be used, but this rope seems to be a permanent thing that enables the people or whatever is down here.
Initiative is used almost exclusively for combat because
Sure.
it really breaks things up.
It would be extremely rude of Scott to be like, "Hey guys, here's a tutorial. Yep, the first rope you come across, it snaps, and the first character down dies. Here's your character sheet deleted."
No, like initiative of who went down the rope first.
Yeah,
It is up to the party to decide. The party didn't want to take pause and decide. People just went.
Yeah,
So-
fair enough. Okay.
Jordan's like, I'm going down. And then Nick's like, I'm definitely next.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
one of you
Forward
have a
momentum
torch?
was happening, and I was in.
Can I inspect the fire pit that's next to me for anything as a torch that I can use?
You're a
Uh,
half elf, don't you have dark vision?
Oh, fuck yeah, good point. Yeah, cool. All right, well, in that case, then I'm not going to fuck with that. I'm just going to start proceeding down the steps, making sure I, don't trip or like.
Yeah, just
no
to
broken
call
steps.
something out. Dark vision works in dim light. I don't believe if there is no light at all, you will be able to see anything.
I will
Sorry.
hover over it and read it for myself.
That is correct. It only works in dim light. It allows you to.
You have superior vision in dark and dim conditions. I can see in dim light within 60 feet of me as though it was bright light, and I can see in darkness as if it were dim light. I can't discern color in darkness.
Right.
So, what is dim light? What's the like? If it's dim light, can I see enough not to trip, not to?
The best way to think about dim light is twilight,
Yeah,
candlelight, like really low level shit.
Okay, so enough that I'm not going to walk into something, but not enough I can discern like specifics, and I would probably miss things that were small or hidden.
Yeah. I think when there's a full moon, it's dim light because it's not black.
You make out shapes.
I would say a full moon is bright light. I would say that dim light is an overcast night.
Cool. All right. Well, in that case, then I'm going to tell the 3 idiots behind me that I'm heading down, and then just proceed, not even looking, not even checking what they're doing. I'm just saying I'm going down, and then start climbing down the stairs.
So there's a campfire here. I'm going to have a look around for signs of camping.
Yep, no problem. So, Nick, chuck us a survival check. Luckily, that was with a straight roll and no disadvantage. So, you can see amongst the like around the campfire, there's obvious evidence that there has been humans who have made camp here. You can see that there is very obvious like shoe prints and boot prints that are laden into the like sandy areas around it. You can also see that sticks have kind of been used as improvised cooking implements in a manner that you wouldn't normally see from like goblins and the like. So they've obviously tried to skewer some meat on a stick and cook it that way, as opposed to just heat it up until it's viable.
So this is like it's a little campfire, but it's of this kind of sophisticated variety.
Yep. And you can
Alright.
kind of see that there's boot prints that kind of go both down and then back up. So you can kind of ascertain that maybe this had been used as kind of like a temporary station in which a couple, no more than 3 humans, had used as kind of like their safe space as they explored.
Neat.
Jordo, as you kind of go down the staircase, in the darkness, you can almost start to see this like forming of maybe a fortress or something. Like this large structure is kind of built in this darkened area. It looks a lot like maybe a small castle, but the entire thing is completely enclosed. You can kind of see off in a far corner that part of it's kind of started to turn to ruin, as it kind of looks like the actual earthen shelf has pushed one of the towers over in some of the movements that the earth shelf naturally makes. Correct, Shrock. So when it comes to short resting and long resting, I will kind of put long rest still as a long-term activity of the 8-hour variety. So although you shouldn't be long resting every single day, as long as you can carve out 8 to 9 hours to rest and you are actually exhausted, then it's okay. Short rest, like pretty much anywhere, but obviously if you stand in a spot for 8 hours and don't move, the world moves around you. So I would strongly encourage to avoid consequences, to actually ensure that where you're taking a long rest makes sense and you come up with a way in which you are protected during that period, because of that 8 hours, you can only be awake for 2 of them. And then short rest, by the book it's an hour. I'd say 30 minutes makes more sense for a short rest in my mind, because it just keeps the game moving.
Okay, thanks.
No,
And we aren't limited to this campfire. We can rest wherever we like. It's just a lot of times a mistake.
sometimes it makes a lot of sense. Sometimes it makes no sense, and sometimes you won't know whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. Okay. Yeah. So you can kind of slowly make your.
I'm just going to keep going down. You can move my token to how far down I get, really.
Yep, I am just quickly going to do a small amount of prep work so that it makes my job easy at the moment. Just bear with me.
Sure.
I was having a pretty lengthy discussion with Nick over this platform, and the way it handles tokens is just the worst thing that has ever been. Like, it is just so frustrating to deal with tokens at times, and
Oh no.
See, we have a token each. Scott has hundreds of them.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, it's not that. It's the actual. There's not like your character token is not mapped to your character sheet. That token exists the way it is currently, and the only way I can bring all of the settings over to the next map is to copy and paste each time we do. And I had already tried to set up your character positions in further locations, and I just need to copy and paste them across.
Oh, that's why I've got 2 tokens.
Huh.
No, that's a different problem. There's been a lot of problems, but I'm just going to, like, instead of having you drag your token onto the screen, I'm going to have a token on each map that you can already control. And if you need your token, let me put it there for you. Otherwise, it's going to go real fucky.
All right. Well, in order to give you some time, I'm going to notice that the tiefling's the only one that actually seems to be keeping up with me. Everyone else seems to be milling around at the back, and I'm going to pay some attention to him and ask him what his deal is.
I thought he stopped. Oh, no, he didn't. Okay. Never mind.
What my deal is?
Yeah, what's your deal? Why are you here?
Can you elaborate on deal?
Well, why have you taken this job, I guess? Seems a little bit low standing for a tiefling.
I have made some decisions in the past, and, well, my wife was taken from me, so I took from others. And now I'm here as kind of a restart.
You're out of money. Gotcha.
No, I've run out of moral good.
As the party slowly traverses down to the base of the staircase.
Bloop, bloop. Oh.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to move it along. The narrow stairs empty into a small courtyard. Apparently, the top of what was once a kind of a battlement. The buried citadel, or this fortress, has sunken far into the earth. The battlement is now level with the surrounding floors. That floor stretches away to the north, south, composed of layers of trenches, crumbled masonry, which reaches to an unknown depth. To the west looms the surviving structure of what must have once been this fortress. A tower stands on the west side of the courtyard.
I would like to look left and to the east.
As you look south, you notice that there is a wall. As you look east, you notice it goes back up the staircase you're traversing down.
How can he see?
How can he see?
He has dark vision.
Tieflings have dark vision as well?
Yes.
Yep, the only party member here who doesn't have it is the Dragonborn.
Ha! Wait, isn't Adrian like an orc? How do orcs have dark vision?
Orcs have dark
creatures who
vision.
grow up in
Do?
caves?
Jesus. Okay. Everybody gets fucking dark vision apparently.
Not Dragonborn.
I'm just going by the sounds.
I'm
I'll wind
wondering.
the big mass in front of me.
Oh,
Right
that's
now-
a dangerous thing to do downstairs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, John, right now, is your screen just black?
I can see the entrance part, a little light in the bottom east with the tokens.
Oh. Yeah. Let me just kind of put you here instead because that makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now, although everyone else can kind of see around them because there's a little bit of just that little bit of faint light still coming in from the.
I can see a little tiny torch icon there.
Yeah, I don't know why that doesn't hide on the GM layer. Maybe I'm just putting it on the wrong layer. But that's meant to represent the sun still coming down from the ravine into this entranceway.
I accidentally drew a blue squiggle.
You sure did draw a very big squiggle.
I think I'm deleting it. It's black, so I can't actually see it. If I just deleted something important, I'm sorry.
It's gone. So at this stage, you kind of realize exactly how oppressive the darkness is, and without an adequate source of light, you will struggle to see in certain situations, even with the dark vision. But more specifically, I think the likes of the Dragonborn is really going to suffer a lot if he can't see.
Now, do we have between us most like starting packs of gear come with torches?
Mhm.
So I'm assuming we'll be able to use one.
I've got 10 torches. I believe.
Awesome. So then there should be a way
I'm
to
going to
turn
yeah.
on like a light radius.
I'm going to ask first the half elf.
Hi.
Hi. If he can see any immediate danger before lighting up.
What do your half elf eyes see?
Yeah.
Alright, I mean, I'm gonna squint into the darkness and have a look around then. Perception.
Okay. So as you kind of so roll your perception.
Oh,
Half elf eyes see a lot, apparently.
Yeah,
11
yeah.
vision.
So hard. Give me a sec. As you kind of have a look around little courtyard area, you are able to notice, where is my drawing tools? Draw square. I don't know if I like color. Sec. So you notice a couple of things here. I'm gonna make it red instead, so it's more obvious. You notice that there is a trapdoor located directly in front of you. It's
Ooh.
about 10 foot by 5 foot square, and it seems to be operated by some sort of like weighted hinge. Apart from that, you notice that there is a doorway into the fortress here, and otherwise, this little courtyard area appears to be mostly nothing else.
Okay, well, I immediately throw my arm up and tell everyone else to stop. There's a trapdoor here. Don't step on it. Does one of you have a torch? Seems about time to get one of those out.
So I think for like just taking a quick look at the character sheets, everyone seems to have a torch. So it's just about who is going to be lighting that torch, because it will obviously need to be held in an arm. Like you've got to have a hand free for it, which kind of dismisses the use of things like two-handed weapons or shield/weapon.
Seeing as I can't see without one, I'm going to use the torch.
I point out the trapdoor. You guys think we should poke it? It looks like it's going to activate if somebody stands on it. We can put something on it, poke it with a sword or something, and see what happens. Or do we just ignore it and go for the door? And then point at the door in case other people
You
can't
said
see
it looks like it's hinged.
If it's a weight hinge, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it looks like it's a trap. If you stand on it, you're going down. Wherever that goes, we can put something on it to activate it and then look what's down there, or we can ignore it and go for that door.
Yeah, we might be able to push on one of the sides and kind of just see what's under it.
Does anyone have thieves' tools? I don't
No.
think so. Okay.
No.
All right. So are we
Can I-
going to try and push on it, or
Sorry, Adrian?
I was
Will be.
just thinking,
Adrian, sorry.
there's no walls where you can put traps like that shoots arrows.
Oh, like a triggered mechanism.
Yeah. DM said there's nothing really fancy around the area, so I think it's safe.
as like Chuck, you kind of have a quick look around on the walls and that you notice that like they're just like solid stone walls filled with oh god, what's the masonry thing you put between bricks? Mortar. Yeah, so it's just like bricks and mortar. So there wouldn't be anywhere for arrows to fire from if that was the manner of trap it was.
All right, well, let's have a look under.
Should be fun. Alright, who wants to kind of activate the trap?
Who here is quite strapping and strong?
Me.
And
So
green.
shock, you kind of like kneel down next to the side of the hinge, and you just kind of give it a good shove. The door, like the little, it appears to be like a trap door under this stone tiling, and as you push it, you kind of watch it just fling down open, and you can kind of see down that it appears to be maybe a let's say like little spikes and little pieces of wood, and there seems to be like some dead creatures at the bottom of it.
Oh no.
As trap door kind of hits that bottom of the cycle, you kind of see it slowly creep back up to close as there's this like clicking motion.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
So if you fall down, you're stuck.
How loud was that?
It sounded fairly loud, like it was a big bang as the stone kind of hits the side of the inner wall, and then it's click, 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 conk
Okay.
as it closes.
I'd like to listen to the door and see if I can hear anything on the other side of the door.
Sure. Give me a perception check. Nice.
Jesus Christ, I'm using all my good rolls on useless shit.
Oh yes. So you can kind of hear like a echoing of footsteps and some metal and some wood kind of on the stone. It doesn't sound like there's anything immediately in the next room, but it definitely sounds like there's something in the distance, kind of echoing through the hallways.
Can I hear any
Further to that,
talking?
you can kind of hear like some wind occasionally howl through. As for anything that you would consider talking, no. Seems to be mostly, at least from this point, if what sounds you are hearing is talking, then it is so far away that it is indistinguishable from other activities.
I'm going to place an unused torch on the north side of the trap to mark it, just in case
Sure.
we have to come back in a hurry. And
Lit?
then no,
Can I
unlit,
light it?
unused torch, yeah.
Hmm.
And then move up towards the door with.
Can I actually replace your torch
Leon?
with one of my spare daggers?
Okay, sure.
Because I figure anything living here, like if they're goblins, the goblins have dark vision, and so why would goblins have a torch, whereas a dagger might not stand out so much?
Well, they're probably going to keep the dagger if they find it. Anyway, okay, yep, but yeah, dagger is fine.
Might blend in a bit more, and might even look like someone dropped it as they fell down the thing.
Sure.
I'm still just listening to the door in case I'm specifically trying to listen to see if anything is coming towards us or sounds like anything's running towards us or coming louder, something that heard the trap and coming to investigate.
I'm going to sidle up next to Leon, because I'm assuming you're actually next to the door and you just haven't moved your character.
Yeah.
All right, I will move to there.
I imagine I've got my ear kind of pressed to the door, listening for anything that's like heard the trap and comes to like collect the loot from the thing that just fell into the trap. That's what I'm specifically trying to listen for.
I will lean in close to Leon and I will say, "What do your half-elf ears hear?"
I just go, shh.
He hears
That is
shushing.
correct. He does hear the wind.
He hears shushing. Be aware.
So a couple of minutes pass by. You're still just kind of pressed up against, and for the most part, it does not seem like there's any response to the sound.
Okay. So I pull away from the door and I look at the rest of them. There's definitely something on the other side of the door, but it's not a goblin. It would have heard us and it would be coming to loot our corpse in the trap. I'd suspect probably some sort of undead. Am I allowed to suspect that?
I mean, you sure can say
You
it,
can
can't you?
say that you suspect it. If you would like to be able to suspect it, you do have once per day use of your divine sense.
That's a great fucking call. All right, I'm going to use that. It's 30 yards through obstacles, right?
No, I'm pretty sure it's blocked by line of sight stuff.
Let me just read this.
I sure can give all of us access to read it for the second time.
Great. It won't be the last.
That is not behind total cover.
Okay, so never mind. I'm not going to use that until the door's open. I'm just going to say I suspect that there's some kind of undead or fiend.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
I suspect there's some undead or fiend behind this this door. Something stupid but nasty.
I'll roll my shoulders and get ready, and I'll motion to go through the door.
Okay. So marching order is going to be Garum in first, and then who's going to follow?
I'll follow next.
Oh, no, I meant for Leon to go through the door first.
Oh yeah, no shit, no. I'm not ready to go through. If you're opening the door, you can open and go through first. I've still got other things to check.
Ah, our brave paladin.
Shock wants to wait.
No, I just want to say, if someone wants to open the door, I'm gonna do something.
A something.
Okay, I completely ignore that. I ignore the orc that says it wants to do something to the door.
Oh no,
and,
no. I mean, if and when someone opens the door, I will do something. Is that how that works?
I'm sure. Are you saying that to us in character? Are you saying when you open it, I'll do something?
No, not
how
in
are you
character.
communicating?
I'm just saying
Well,
that for the
okay,
story purposes.
Oh, okay.
There's
So-
something you would like to do when the door opens.
Th-
Yeah.
That's called a readied action.
Okay. So first, Gorgo, are you pushing the door open or are you trying to walk through the door?
The first, well, if it's up to me, I'm checking the handle first. What does the handle of the door look like?
As you kind of inspect it, there isn't a handle as much as it is just a big, heavy stone door that kind of needs to be pushed in.
Okay. It does look like a door, not some sort of makeshift stone slab that somebody's blocked the door off, right? It looks like
Correct.
an intentional door. Okay.
It looks like it's fit for purpose. It needs to be physically moved in. Being like a big, heavy stone door, it's likely got some hinges and it's likely got space behind it for you to be able to bar the door, but it doesn't have any like fancy locking mechanisms like a handle.
Okay, cool. I test the weight, like I push gently and see if it
Mhm.
moves with a small amount of force.
It won't move with a small amount of force, obviously being a big slab of stone and being the very exterior, like the most exterior door to this location would likely be heavier than any of the other doors, and would require some focused effort to open.
Okay. All right. I turn and look at the half orc, and sorry, you're a full orc.
Yes.
Okay. I look at the orc. You there? Give me a hand with this door.
He's a full orc.
Yeah, he went.
I point at the orc and I say, "You, over here, help me with this door."
As you say that, you can see me hide my horn.
He just takes his penis and puts it between his legs. Walks over to the door. He just folds up the bagpipes, puts away the horn. Alright. So you're both kind of opening the door together?
I'm not.
Sorry, I move over to like the north side of the room to kind of.
You should have
hide
access to be able to move your own token if
Okay.
you want to just try moving it.
Yeah, I see that was an accident. Yeah, so just kind of hide the. Oh, I see the door's on the west. Never mind. Okay, cool. Doesn't matter.
So my intent with this door opening is I'm not putting too much force into this, so I don't like if the door falls away, I'm not going to stumble like and fall over if it suddenly gives way. I'm
Mhm.
mostly just kind of pushing up against the door and staying ready. So I'm not really putting much force into it.
Yeah.
So
I'm just
it
using
does
one
take
hand.
some energy to open up, but it's very controlled. There's a lot of resistance, and you kind of just open up the door.
Okay, I'm gonna poke my head in and look what's
Yeah.
in the room.
Move in.
There's oh no, there's blue lines. They're drawn all over the place. It's horrible. I can't comprehend it.
The circular area is cobbled with like cracked granite, upon which sprawls the bodies of 4 goblins, apparently
Are you fine
slain
if you
in
move into
combat.
the room?
Yeah, move in.
I stay near the edge, and I'm gonna just kind of hug the right wall.
As everyone enters, I play my horn.
Oh God, why?
For a ceremony.
Just for fun.
Jordan
What are
just
you
spent
doing?
15 minutes hyper cautiously entering the room, and
We have found some dead bodies.
I am going to inspect the bodies and try to work out how long they've been there and what killed them.
I try to knock the horn out of Shrock's hands to shut him the fuck up.
Okay, so Nick, I'll get you to Garam, I'll get you to roll a medical check.
15.
So they have clearly died to some level of trauma. There is slashes and gashes on their body, and the mix of the damage that has been done to what you can only assume are vital goblin organs, and the huge amounts of blood that now pool underneath each of them kind of indicate that likely some sword or other bladed weapon has torn through them. It does look like they haven't died where they stand, that there has been some sort of, let's say, scuffle that has occurred here, and that this, in essence, has been the cause of their death. Else, you've also noted that they have had their like meat gnawed at by maybe a rat or another sort of rodent and the like. Looking through them, you kind of see that they don't have any weapons on them. They don't have anything of value on them either. Looks like someone has cleaned up anything that they might have had prior to their death. The one that
Adventurers have been through here. They've been looted.
So this one on the let me move the layer I'm looking at here. This one over here.
That's
you
a
also,
body.
Yep. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this 4th one here, you notice that. Thank you. You notice that he's kind of fallen and leant up against what looks like some runes that are inscribed into the wall. I'm just going to quickly check your character sheet to see if you have language proficiency and know what they are.
I speak
do not.
Celestial, Common, Infernal.
Yeah. So these runes look foreign to you. What is everyone else doing?
I am trying to shut the bard up.
Okay. So Shrock, obviously, we've gone through the way in which the PvP and the victim's advantage works. Does Jordo successfully shut you up or not?
I sense his frustration, so I just hide my horn.
Okay.
So I push the horn like out of his mouth and down, and then tell him to be quiet.
Just put a little finger over your mouth, like no. Stop. John, while all of this is going on, is there anything you want to do?
Mostly just check my next door.
Okay.
Yep.
So there is 2 doors that lead out of here. So there's one in the south and then one in the north.
Okay.
The door appears to just be wooden, hinged, no handle. It looks like it could be freely pushed open. There is gaps at the base of the door, maybe half an inch off the stone.
I'm
Which
gonna.
one is this? Oh, sorry. which
That
door?
would be the north
North
one,
one.
but
Yep.
both doors look like they're kind of
Same.
constructed in very similar ways.
Sure.
I'm gonna take this moment to dip out. I've got to get ready for tonight's activities.
Oh no.
He's gone to the shitter.
Oh no, he fell down the trap.
Wow.
It's at that moment. He just vanishes from existence and everyone forgets he exists.
Is there any
Exactly.
canonical way you would choose to have that happen, Nick? Like you're like, nah, fuck this, I'm out. This ain't worth it.
Actually, yeah, I fade out of existence, and
Whoa.
you hear the faint, echoing screaming of a tormented victim.
Nick, get ready. It's time to go. The tiefling sighs and vanishes from existence.
So yeah.
Remarkably accurate. All right, bye. Have fun.
ya,
We'll
man.
try. So yeah, obviously, in essence, that's the way it will be. He just is not there.
All right, let's
It's
just tell
easy to
him.
explain.
Let's just say he like fucking guarded our approach with like he just stood out, like made sure nothing followed us or some shit.
Whatever makes you feel better. It is like honestly a lot of pain to try and constantly
Oh yeah.
explain why all of this is the way it is, and it's easier for it to just happen. Okay. So, you kind of looked at those doors. How would you guys like to proceed?
I'm going to place an unused torch up against the south door, just as like a noise detection in case someone tries to open it. If that's a thing,
Mhm.
and make ready to go towards the north door.
Yep. You kind of loosely put the torch up against the door so that if the door opens, it kind of just goes clang, clang, clang.
Yep.
Balls. Cool. So you would like to start heading up the northern door. Is everyone following?
Yep.
I'm looking for any more of those traps first before I move anywhere further into the room.
Okay. I'm happy for you to run a perception.
Okay, not this time.
You kind of make out that you're in a room. It seems to be circular.
Yep.
Uh,
Okay.
Yeah. So it looks like none of these goblins have died to traps, and there haven't been any real traps triggered. For the most part, all you can really tell is that there's only 3 ways in: the way in which you guys came, and the northern and southern wooden doors.
Okay, I'm gonna follow up to the north door then.
Cool. So I'm just going to open up that door and try and work out what that room number is.
We still have a torch, right?
So right now, who is it? John
Dragon.
has the torch out. You guys would likely have torches in your inventory from just starting this game. If you would like to light your own torch, I can set that up on your token as well.
I don't think.
But
I
it
have a
does mean
torch.
that you've. I'll turn it on. Just remember that you now have a torch in your hand.
Okay.
Cool. So you've got a torch on as well. There you go. So
I do
as correct.
I am not lighting it up.
So then we go off into the hallway, which is here. For the most part, you kind of see before you a fairly straight hallway. Continues the same kind of mix of masonry and actual kind of like built into the earth. Most of the other has created. You see down the hallway that there are, 3 wooden doors.
Who opened the door? Because I didn't open this one.
I would say that it was Shrock.
Yep.
But it is a light wooden door. It's much easier to move than the earlier doors.
Seeing as the orc like kind of opened it and didn't look particularly, surprised or anything, I kind of figured it was safe and moved in quickly.
Mhm.
I'll ask Leon. I guess I don't know if his name yet, but I'll ask him if he wants to check any traps down the hallway.
You can use you there. That's fine.
You there? Check out this noise.
All right. I try to squint. I squint at the room. Looking for the same kind of trap.
Yep. Throw down your perception.
Yeah, you better one this time.
Yep, no problem. Yeah, for the most part, it looks to be free of traps. It seems that it is a heavily walkway. You can kind of see there's a lot of disturbed dust along the length of this. Like there is frequently things, people, creatures, however you want to put it, that is traversing down this hallway.
Can I tell which one of the 3 doors seems to be the most frequently used?
Yes, I would say that it's the far door. I would say this door has much more frequent usage than the other 2 doors.
Okay. And what are the doors? Are they the same wooden door we just came through?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to tell that to the other 2. Careful what's behind that door. That one seems to be the one that's going to have the
Door number 3.
Yeah. Careful of what's behind door number 3. No traps that I can see, though. Should we check out what's behind the less dangerous doors first?
Yeah.
Sounds like a good idea.
Tell me how you'd like to do it.
All right. Well, point to the one on the left side, the one south side. Let's check this one first. I'll crack the door this time, personally.
So as you just kind of push this door open, I would ask that everyone rolls initiative.
Huh.
As you crack open the door, you can see a very small storage section that has, let's say, like a keg in the corner. There is kind of drawn-esque or carved into the wall. What kind of looks like a large fish-like dragon. It's kind of swimming around the exterior of the room. In the center, in the bottom right corner, there is an upright keg with a little like tap in it that appears to be able to dispense. Inside the room, there is 2 creatures, which are I'm here. A steam mephit, which is almost like imp-like elemental creature. And a ice memphit. Okay, where are my buttons? Give me buttons. Sorry, I'm just looking where I can roll initiative on these.
You open the door, and Tiamat is drinking from a keg in the corner.
You know it.
What's a method?
So a
It's like an
How can I
imp-like
find this?
creature.
Okay.
What do you mean find this?
We'll find where to find information about. Yeah, there we are. Okay. Cool. So they kind of look like goblins. Kind of look like. Yep. Cool.
so one
Their
of them
nose is very phallic.
one is kind of made out of a steam, and the other seems to be made out of pure ice. They are kind of imp-like creatures that I wouldn't say they fly as much as they kind of hover above the ground. Looking at initiative order, it's going to be John. Oh, God, character names. It's going to be Kellison, then Schrock, then the two imps, and then Leon.
I'm gonna just piss real quick while John and take their turns.
The audacity.
And how would you know what we did?
Well, I'm getting a drink.
Combat starts. It's not my turn. Be right back.
Okay. Be right back. Wait, no. Okay.
So you'd be up first. I don't know how much vision you've got in the room.
I can
yet.
only see the left one.
Yeah.
The Steam one, I believe you said it was. I can't tell.
Yeah, that's the Steam one you can see.
Okay. It takes a moment to kind of know what to do with against Steam. And seeing as I can't actually see any other, see what else is in the room, I going to create a bonfire on top of it. Can I do that?
I
How
am
long
just
does
going to quickly look.
one action?
You can see within range. On ground, you can see within range. You create a bonfire on the ground that you can see within range until the spell ends. The bonfire builds a 5-foot cube. Any creature in the bonfire space when you cast the spell must either dex save or take 1d8 fire damage. Okay. Yes. There is nothing stopping you creating a bonfire on the ground, it appears.
All right. Well, that's what I shall choose to do.
Okay, I wasn't expecting to have a token for a bonfire. Let me see what I have.
Fuck.
Where's my third spell? Which is thunder thing?
Thundercunt?
Yeah. Where's that gone?
I'm
The
going
fuck?
to use this to represent the fire.
Oh God, there's a fucking boss behind us. What?
Oh shit, it's Ragnaros.
What have I done wrong?
I wish it was easier to layer these things. Actually, you know what? There we go. He's in a bonfire. I can put a token down later when he moves off the bonfire. Okay. So he then needs to make a dex saving throw against your. Okay. So I rolled an 11.
Yep.
Do you know how the saving throw system works?
No.
Okay, perfect. So on your character sheet under spells, you'll see that there is something called a spell save DC. So when something's asked to be able to beat like a dex saving throw, that is them rolling dex against your spell save DC. So as they rolled an 11 and your spell save DC is 12.
12. Nice.
Yep. So they take the 1d6 damage. You should be able to just click on the spell itself. Maybe, otherwise you can just type in /roll 1d6.
Oh.
There you go. 2 fire damage. So as this fire just kind of sprouts out of the ground, the room kind of fills with, or that space that it's currently standing on just kind of fills with flames as a bonfire just sprouts out of existence and starts burning at the feet of the steam imp.
I wasn't here. How did he make that happen?
He has a cantrip called Create Bonfire.
Fair
He
enough.
creates a bonfire on the ground.
Okay.
So what's the spell attack bonus?
Spell attack bonus is for when you need to roll to hit. So if you have a look at Frost... Oh no, not Frostbite's also saving throw.
Fireball. Except that's AoE. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't have any spells that actually use a spell attack bonus yet.
Oh, okay. Cool. No worries.
But commonly when there's something like a single target spell, it would, like a magic missile, you need to hit them. So that would use a attack roll where you roll a d20 and you would add your spell attack bonus to hit.
Okay. Cool.
Yep. So in addition to that, so that consumes your action.
Mhm.
You would also have up to your movement in movement each turn. So you've got 30 feet of movement, so you would be able to move 6 squares.
Okay.
And then you'll have a bonus action. There's quite a few spells out there that use a bonus action instead of an action.
Oh, okay.
But otherwise, I don't think that there would be much at this stage that you would use a bonus action for.
Yeah, sure. Fair enough. No, yep, cool.
Cool.
I do that and moved, and yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Then next up would be Trock.
Okay, so from where I'm standing, I can't see them.
Can you? Like, I don't
Yeah,
see
you
everyone
can.
through. So they're in the room that you just saw. God. Callison, like, cast a spell into and kind of maneuver around. So you kind of assume that's where they're sitting.
I'll just move in front of the door first.
So if you have like 6 movement, you can like move up 1, go, oh fuck that, and
Yeah,
run
you,
away,
you can
right?
even break up your movement. So you can move, you can cast a spell, then you can move back where you were and that sort of thing. So if you're wanting to maintain a level of cover, you can kind of run out of cover, cast a spell, go back in cover.
Cool.
Rogues use it heavily with like because they have a lot of bonuses if they attack from stealth. They'll run out behind cover, stealth, then run out, attack, run back, stealth.
Hey,
A
like
turn is
Celeste.
meant to. Yeah, a turn is meant to represent 6 seconds of time.
Oh,
So
okay.
you can use your resources in kind of any order, but the idea is that you're doing 6 seconds worth of your stuff.
Okay, which one is damaged?
The southern one. So he's sustained a small amount of damage, but he seems to not be too bothered by it yet.
Okay, I'm gonna use Vicious Mockery on the one to the south.
Yep.
How do I do that? Do I just click it?
Yep. So if you just click it, it should give the details around what it is. So you can see that it is a DC 13 Wisdom saving throw that I now need to make, to which it's 12. So 12 being lower than 13 means that it fails, and it then takes the 2 psychic damage. If you, like, I've just clicked show spell descriptions. Vicious Mockery also makes it have disadvantage on its attacks until next turn, I believe. Yeah, till the end of its next turn. So until the end of its next turn, any attacks it tries to make, it has to do at disadvantage.
Cool. Then I'll just move back.
Yep.
Does the other one get an attack of opportunity on that?
I would say normally it would, because you kind of move in, but because it's tucked behind the wall,
Yeah.
if that wall wasn't there, it would get an attack of opportunity.
Seems fair.
But because the wall's kind of blocking it, I don't think that it would have had long enough to really see you and try and take a swipe at you.
Seems fair.
So then next up in that order was going to be the steam, then the ice. So the steam guy is going to move up and out, and it's going to make a claw attack against Leon.
So if that was an 8, that's lower than my AC.
Yep. So it reaches out with a claw, tries to slash at you, but it fails to hit you. That's it. And then the ice one is kind of moving up, and let me bring up the character sheet for it and see what it can do.
Right. So the armor class. What's so
Yep.
I understand? What's Leon's armor class?
Yeah, I am 16 armor class AC because
Okay.
I'm wearing chainmail. So,
So-
something has to roll a 17 or higher on its attack in order to hit me.
Okay. That's literally just that. It has to roll higher
Correct.
than. Oh, okay. I can
It
see
does
why
not
you.
reduce.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does not reduce damage at all. So it's just a chance to hit. The concept being, if it doesn't hit strong enough, it doesn't go through my armor. and
So
therefore
you're
does no
evasion
damage.
tanking. Yep. Cool.
Yeah,
Um,
kind of.
Yep. So it needs to equal or exceed. It doesn't need to exceed.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
So 16 or higher will hit me.
And it's the same with spell save DC. So if it's equal or higher, then you make the save. And then if it's lower, it's a miss. So yeah, comes in. The ice behind it. The ice guy is going to. It's going to use a frost breath that. No, it's going to hit each other. It's kind of stuck in this doorway now.
Get wrecked.
I'd say it could move past. Can't you usually move through allies?
You could, but it would then get an opportunity attack on from you. So I'm just quickly seeing.
Yeah, okay, fair, because it would go through the doorway and past.
Mhm. Okay. So it's going to cast fog cloud and pretty much surround this entire area in a thick fog. So that is like that. So anything within that green circle is heavily obscured. So any attacks at things inside of it or from things inside of it are going to be at disadvantage. And that then leads on to Gorgo.
Okay. I swing at the steam elemental with disadvantage.
Mhm.
Holy
Oh.
shit.
Plus 5 great
Fucking
sword.
that 20 and a 19.
Okay.
Then if you click on the
Wait. How do I roll a damage?
yep, so if you click on the word greatsword,
Just keeps running. Just
no,
keeps rolling.
like in the chat window where it says greatsword plus
Oh.
5. Yeah, if you click that, it should expand out to show damage.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
I did not mean to roll 3 times to hit, so I would like to take my first result, please.
She's there. So you just click the first one. So 5 plus 5. Yeah.
Why
Okay.
do I keep fucking rolling? I
Take the
clicked.
dice away from him. Fuck.
Well, I clicked greatsword plus 5 on it. Oh, I see it. It's opening.
Yeah.
I'm
So
just
I'll
looking at
take
the
yours, which is the 10, because this is like the number on the right is if it was critical, the number on the left is the damage. So I'm going to say you hit it for 10. Hitting it for 10 makes it look pretty beat up now.
Oh yeah.
It's hurting.
And if you'd like me to enunciate on what I did, I just fucking slammed my greatsword down directly through it.
Mm-hmm. You kind of just slash straight through it. It's made mostly of steam, but as you kind of wrench into the core of it, you can kind of feel a lot of resistance as you kind of tear through whatever essence is holding the steam together.
Does it make any noise?
It makes a hissing noise, like water hitting a cold fry pan.
Okay.
Then we go back to the next round of combat. So that kicks things off with Callison.
Oh, so the initiative order goes until end of combat, does it? Or oh, okay.
Like we keep the initiative for all of the combat, but like go ahead the lowest on the initiative after all the creatures. So once his turn's over, then it goes into the second round of combat. So far, we've been fighting for 6 seconds. And we start things off at the 7th second with you.
Sure. So that's probably not going to work. But yeah, seeing now that it can get hit by like physical attacks, I'm going to just try and stab it with my spear, one-handed. Is there? Like, I didn't know when I was picking weapons, but is like spear one-handed like a disadvantage or?
I
hover over it. Oh wait, that's not how this works.
Yeah, so there is a way. So if you go to the core of your character sheet and then go down to your spear, on the far right there should be a little
spear one-handed
icon that
like
says.
It's just the damage it can do.
Yep. Also in the top right-hand corner, there's a little eye, like the letter I in a circle for information. When you go to that, that opens up the compendium and allows you to search through every book that I own on Roll20 and any free reference on Roll20. I have all the player handbook stuff purchased, so if you just typed in spear, you can then look up the details of said spear.
Where can I find this eye?
Hover. So you're in your backpack. You're in item name. You see that? It's like below your gold in the center panel.
Yeah, it was. Oh, there. Okay.
Okay,
I was
and then hover over it. Yeah, hover over it there. That's essentially your inventory. Hover over it, and in the bottom right corner, there'll be a little information eye.
I can throw it.
Yeah, you can throw. You can throw pretty much anything you want. It's not necessarily a good idea, but
yeah.
So you can throw anything, but unless it has the thrown property, you're going to have disadvantage, and you can't add your proficiency to it.
Okay, but seeing that it does have the throwing property, and seeing as I'm like a dragonborn and probably strong enough to throw it, I'm gonna throw it at the iced one.
Yep. So you would just click on the spear and you'd just piff it past the steam one at the ice, right?
Yeah. Oh wait, am I in the cloud? And do I have to be in the cloud?
Oh yeah. They're in the cloud and you're in the cloud, so it's all at disadvantage. You can get out of the cloud, but you're still going to be at disadvantage. In that corner, I would say you can only see the steam one. That's the one outside of the door. You can still make it.
So okay. So I guess my character doesn't know how the fog works.
No, you would. It's fog. You've seen fog before.
It's like a smoke grenade. You're looking into a smoke grenade.
Yeah, sure.
If I remember correctly, looking at your character sheet, you also know this spell.
Yeah.
So you're familiar with the way in which this spell works and exists. So you can either use the spear where you are before you move to stab at it, or you can walk away and take a throw. But walking away will provoke an opportunity of attack.
Oh, okay. Right, okay.
So you're going to stay in melee, or?
Yeah, man, might as well stay in the melee range. Yeah, and I'll just hit the smoke.
Sure. So even with disadvantage, you still manage to find purchase and whatever essence is keeping this steam thing together, and you drive your spear into it. Yeah, you.
I'd already rolled.
Yep. So you can see there it's got 2 numbers. Because it's disadvantage, we take the smaller of the 2 numbers, which would be the 15.
Yep.
Its armor class is 10. So you still hit it. and you deal your 4 piercing damage.
Okay. So why was it 4? Why did it automatically roll for me and not for
Yes.
Jordan?
I don't
I
know
had-
why it's not rolling for Jordo. I assume he's fucked with his settings somehow.
No, I haven't. This is default. I may be clicking a different thing. This is an example. Okay, I have the attacks and spellcasting panel on my character sheet open, right? Did somebody just change my tab for me?
Yep,
Yeah,
I've just changed the settings, and now if you tried to roll your sword again, it should work.
Huh, I never changed any settings, but thank you.
No problem.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Okay, so that is... God, math is hard. Okay. Yeah, this Steam thing looks like it's right on its edge. It looks like it's almost becoming one with the fog cloud that had been produced around it. Is there anything else you wanted to do on your turn, Carlson?
No, seeing it's still alive, I'll stay still.
Sure.
Yep, that's it.
All right. Shock, you're up next.
I'm holding a torch, right?
Yes, you've got a torch in one hand, and I would assume maybe the horn in the other. I don't know what instrument you were using to cast Vicious Mockery, but you would have needed some sort of spell casting focus, I believe. I forget Vicious Mockery. No, it's just verbal. You can just mock someone without an instrument.
Wait, can
I thought your sister was steamy, but now that I've seen you...
Vicious Mockery isn't affected by this smoke cloud, right?
Correct, because it is something that they have to make a save for. As long as you got vision on them, you can mock them.
Can I see through this fog?
Your vision is impaired, but it's not blocked. You can still see. It's just like making it hard to see clearly. So you can definitely mock them if you want, or you could do pretty much anything else.
I'm just gonna mock the first guy again.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then where am I? The Steam guy is going to make his wisdom saving throw of 4. He unfortunately finds that the mockery is just far too much for him, and that it's not so much that you have insulted him, but you've insulted him to such a level where he no longer feels that he could go on living and proceeds to die.
Yeah.
Okay. Having like this little Mephit kind of seeing that his friend has passed away due to shame is almost angered by it, and is very, very angered. I don't know how to be more
gone
angry
berserk.
about. Yeah. He would like to rage. Anyway, he's going to almost scream as this frosty air kind of emanates out from his breath out the window. Window? Window's not the right thing. Why is that not rolling dice for me?
I think we have to, don't we?
You guys will need to make a DC 10 dexterity saving throw, as there is like this almost ice breath coming from this imp.
Oh no.
So,
Oh no. Is there a disadvantage because it's in a fog? Does that count as...
no, because it's an area of effect. It's just
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you take
Oh,
the
saving throw. Right, yep.
Yep.
Sorry.
you take the left one.
Yep. So, in essence, Carlson and Shrock, you take 3 damage, and then Leon, you take 7.
Oh wow, I'm nearly dead.
What the fuck? That seems OP. It landed a fucking hit and you're nearly dead, yeah.
Welcome to level 1, bitch.
Welcome to level 1. It's something that everyone has to experience, but after we get through all of our campaigns, if we decide to start again or just do a one shot because not everyone's here, we're not going to do it from level 1 again. It's an experience to be sure, but the numbers are very, very low. And in that, it kind of just ends its turn.
Like-
Still kind of holding that doorway.
Like level 1, I have 12 HP. Level 2, I have 22 HP.
Ah, okay.
You roll for HP after level 1. So you
Ah.
would roll the D12
Ah,
and
Oh,
then add your constitution modifier. D10, I think it is. And then add your
Jesus.
constitution modifier.
oh no.
Yeah, level 1's the only time you get all the hit dice, all of the power, all
Oh,
of
I
the
see.
strength. And I think wizards get a D6.
Oof.
Let me just because I'm now curious, I'm just confirming that, but I'm fairly sure they just get a
Also, it's worth pointing out that if you do hit 0 HP, you don't die, you go knocked out first. And
Mhm.
then you have to do this whole saving throw business, but essentially in this combat would mean nothing. You'd just we'd have to heal you after combat.
Yep.
So you don't just instantly die.
Yeah, so on your character sheet, you would see that there is death saving throws, and you'd have a number of passes and fails.
Yep.
There. So 3 failed death saving throws means that you have died.
Sure.
All that needs to be done to bring you out of that by another character is to restore at least 1 HP or make a DC 10 medicine check to stop you from bleeding out.
Cool.
You can also get, I think it's healer's kits, where you can just say, stop bleeding. You don't even have to make a DC 10 check. But it's one of those times where, if you fail the DC 10, then they get to make more death saving throws as you keep trying to beat this medicine challenge for a bit of life. Okay. So then it goes on to the next in order, which is Leon.
And you can instantly die if you take more than half of your, if you're overkilled by more than half of your maximum HP. Is that right?
I want to say it's the full HP bar. I can't remember.
Okay. But
It's
really up to the DM as well.
instant death. If reduced to 0 HP and damage remains, you die if remaining damage is equal to or greater than HP maximum.
Yeah, so if you're overkilled by your whole HP bar, then you instantly just die. But that's...
Okay, that's probably rare then.
It's very common in level 1 to 3 adventures, but very rare later on. But there's definitely things that could take your HP bar, and if you get hit by them when you're very low HP already,
low.
there is some instant deaths things, but I'd rather not see that too much. Anyway, Gorga.
Yep, just going to walk up and smack it.
Okay.
So I'm going to, I'm just going to follow through and then do another overhanded slash at it. I assume I need to walk into the doorway to hit it properly.
I would say it's disadvantage regardless. So you can kind of just swing up through the side of the door without pushing in and blocking the doorway.
I'm going to block the doorway. If I don't get hit with an attack of opportunity, I'm going to walk into the doorway.
Yeah, you can. So I can just... Yep, you're good.
Yep, and then I'm going to hit it with a greatsword. Bad luck.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, you just can't seem to find the right amount of purchase on it as you swing your sword through the fog.
That's my turn.
That brings us to our third round of combat as we start again. Top of the round with Callison.
Sorry, just checking inventory. Oh, okay. Just kind of throw the spear at it.
Is there any line of sight concerns? Like, is there a chance that he can hit me in the back of the head with it?
Not in 5e.
Perfect.
Oh god.
So you just take your spear, yeet it into the room, and kind of at the back of the room, you kind of know that you've got to go get your spear later.
Yep.
You just hear it clatter into the distance.
Then next up is Shrook.
Does Leon have opportunity of attack?
For what?
Yeah, it's not a thing you need to skill into in this game. If it moves out of my range, I get a swing at it. Yes.
Okay, because I'm gonna use Dissonant Whispers.
Okay.
Ooh.
If you click your little button for me. And it fails. So it
What is that you're doing, John?
yeah, I'm confused too.
I was clicking on show spell description for dissonant whispers, but it doesn't like that one. Yep, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
something
know.
happens to me when I do it. No ability was found. I'm not allowed to see it, probably because I don't own
Probably.
it. I'm not
No,
allowed
no,
to
no.
see what you see. I don't know.
It should be available to you. Like again, the info button in the top right that goes to the compendium, you should even be able to look it up. I don't know why it won't let that show, but there it is.
Yeah,
So
the compendium does work. I can click on it in the compendium. Weird.
you know, Shock goes through and kind of casts this whispering where the little method is just kind of filled with these horrible thoughts and it just cannot handle them. And where he takes 14 points of psychic damage. That is
Oh,
many.
That's
It's
top
looking very, very upset by that pain and immediately just needs to first make a Constitution saving throw, which is going to go against the concentration as well. So when you're spell casting, one of the things to be mindful of is something called concentration, where you have to kind of maintain focus on a spell. Anytime you get hit while you've got that concentration up, you have to make a DC 10 Constitution saving throw, or the DC is half of the damage that you received, whichever of the two is higher. So because he's received 14 damage, obviously half 17, so 10 is higher. So he had to make a DC 10 because he's failed that check. That fog cloud just disappears.
Oh, okay.
As he also now needs to, as part of that, run away.
What happened
as
to
his
the
reaction.
bonfire? Did we forget about that, or did something happen to it?
Runs away into that corner. Technically, it's still in the bottom left-hand corner.
Okay.
But I think, how long does a bonfire last? Pendium. So, Jordo, you're going to get an opportunity of attack while it tries to run away.
No. Oh, actually, the concentration was broken, so it takes the left hand.
Yep.
So it's a 13, not an 8.
Yep. And as it tries to run away, it gets a condition known as dead, as you just strike at it as it turns its back and run. And that concludes combat.
Nice.
So the what was it? Bonfire is concentration up to 1 minute. So John, as long as you maintain concentration, you don't try and cast a different concentration spell. That just stays there for the minute or until you dismiss it. Yeah, that's that.
All right. Do either of you guys know what the fuck those things are?
No idea.
No.
If you can say, you could be like, "Do I?" and then ask the DM, and then the DM will ask you to roll a something, and then you might know if you want to do that. If you think your character might have a chance of knowing what it is.
I mean, the person who would most likely know what they are would probably be Leon, because
Really?
they are. So if you do, God, what would I say? I would say history or survival, whichever your preference would be on that. Cool. So obviously, in your background of just trying to, let's say, root out evil things in the world, you have come across things like these.
Oh,
They are definitely by nature evil beings. They're not fiends; they're kind of elementals. But they commonly would be in servitude to things that are a bit stronger than themselves. They tend to not, or it's unlikely to see them be by themselves. You don't know a lot about them. You haven't really had to deal with them directly before now, but you can kind of see that they would be commonly servants and they'd be elemental in nature, not directly fiends like their anatomy might suggest.
all right.
I'm just going to quickly grab a drink while you guys think about how you would like to proceed.
I mentioned that you seem to be kind of a bit worse aware there. I don't actually have any healing spells or anything.
What good are you then?
Yeah, well, I was going to, and then I realized that like living as a hermit, kind of, doesn't. Why would I need to learn to heal others? So, but I do know medicine. I'm not sure if that helps.
Not unless you've got the materials to actually heal me with.
Yeah, I don't think I do.
Any healing potions?
No.
Good on you.
Yeah. Wait, what's in an explorer's pack?
I think that's just the thing you're carrying around, and the
Okay.
contents are just spread out throughout the inventory.
Okay.
It's like that's the type of backpack you're wearing.
I've also got a backpack.
Right, I'm back.
I have a mess
Alright.
kit. What the fuck is a mess kit?
A
Cup
cup.
and simple cup. Okay.
So cutleries and a bowl and a cup.
Yep. So I mentioned that like Jordan seems to be a little bit, or not Jordan, Leon seems to be a bit worse for wear. I have medicine skill, but I don't have any way of actually healing him. Is there? Okay, out of character. What does short rest do?
Okay.
Heals us.
So one thing that I needed to just quickly run back on before I forget. Adrian, remember to keep track of your spell slots. Obviously, you've used one of your 2 spells. But I can see on your character sheet it says 0 slots remaining, so I'm a bit concerned on the tracking there. So in terms of being able to actually heal someone, you would normally use a spell to do so, or use a potion. There isn't any like healers kits and the like which use medicine checks don't heal damage. They stabilize people who are on the brink of death and kind of patch people up. So they can't repair damage, they can just prevent the damage getting worse. Short resting. You guys just take 30 minutes to just rest, regroup, at which point you can use your hit dice. So on your character sheet, you'll have next to the death saving throws hit dice, a total number and then number remaining. You can roll one of that allocated dice size to be able to regain that many hit points at the end of the short rest.
All right. So yeah, I ask him, does he want to take a rest?
Yeah, not feeling so good, eh? But should we do it in this room? This room seems safer than this hallway. This hallway seems used. A lot of people seem to go through it. Well, not people, but something seems to be using this hallway a lot. In this room, if we close the door, we might not be found.
Sure. Can I?
Yep.
I try to carry the steam
I don't
mesprit
think they leave corpses.
into the what?
Yeah, I would probably say that Naturally, these two corpses would probably like disappear and melt away.
Oh, okay. Sure.
So I'll just clean them out. Just a good reference point.
Hey, Orc, check out this barrel. And I point at the barrel.
As I go inside the room, I play my horn in celebratory. Hey, we won the fight.
As he just puts out a little melody on his horn, which is something that is useful later on for
Oh yeah.
who is it? Bards, but I don't think that you have access to Song of Rest yet. I think
He's
that's like
just practicing.
somewhere between 3 and 5. So I look up the compendium.
Can we close the door as we come in? Or is that not worth it?
Yeah.
Close the door.
Oh.
Oh no.
That doesn't look good.
Well, I'm pretty sure the DM rolling low is good for us.
Ah, okay.
Maybe, it's hard to tell.
At second level, you get Song of Rest, where it makes sense to be playing an instrument while you guys rest. So I like the role play for now. So you guys are just trying to take a moment of rest in a small little room and recover. Within the room, doesn't seem to be much of interest, apart from the large keg. So in this 30-minute period, obviously you're going to have, like, what do you guys want to do? Who's going to be just resting to recover? Who's going to be doing something else?
I'm sitting in the corner. I do point out the keg to the orc. Hey, orc, check out this keg. Could be tasty.
Yep, I'm sitting on it.
Alright, I shrug. Sit down. Try to recover from the ice blast.
Sure.
Do we only get one heal per short rest?
So you have a limited pool of hit dice that you can use.
Yeah.
Each level you get another hit dice to use during the short rests through the day. You'll find then at a long rest that you recover a number of hit dice equal to half your level.
Oh, okay. So the hit dice is once per day?
Long rest.
So yeah, they recover at a long rest. You regain one hit dice. So you regain a number of hit dice back equal to half your overall character level. You can spend your hit dice during short rests to recover based upon the roll you make.
Cool.
The number of hit dice you have is linked to your levels. So as you get higher level, you get more hit dice.
Okay. Well,
I think from here, for the most part, the short rest is uneventful.
Yeah.
You are able to regain your hit dice if you want to make the roll to recover some health.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Don't forget to
I
roll
assume-
your hit dice.
John, I assume you're just clicking out of interest and not trying to regain hit health while at full health.
Use it on your
I had 3 damage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Shrock and Kalison took 3 damage. I took 7.
Okay. And I'm not sure, Shrock, if you're resting or if you're doing something else.
I'm just playing my violin.
Violin? Where the fuck did he get that?
Oh, he's got many instruments on his body for some reason.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, you have a horn, viol, and a set of bagpipes.
Yep. And a shawm.
And a shawl, yeah. Shawm. I forget what a shawm is.
Same.
It's a flute.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
mentioned earlier that these spirits usually serve something else. Is there any more, like, would I have any information on what would be likely for them to be serving down here, given the context of it being an underground ruin that has murdered goblins? Is there a likely master they would be serving, or type of master?
It is possible. There is, many a thing that is evil and ancient in what is known as the Underdark. So as you kind of transition from, where you are currently, if you were to go down another 400-500 feet, you'd probably find yourself in kind of like these ancient locations of tunnels from ancient almost civilizations as such, but more like monstrous, more evil, more primordial. There's a lot of possible creatures that would live in the Underdark that would take elementals like this and others as servants. You also at times know that they could be bound instead to a object of value.
Okay. Alright, well, instead of any of that, I'm just going to say there's probably going to be more of these things. They're not usually alone.
Oh, DM question.
Go.
Do we get our spells back during short rest or only on long rest?
For bards, it's on long rest. So it should say in your class details where and what comes back. I think when it comes to spell casting specifically, the only class that really gets things back on a short rest regularly will be warlocks. Everything else kind of has to wait till their long rest before they get their spell slots back. But inversely, warlocks have very, very few spell slots.
Okay.
I think they top out at having 4. You'll also have a couple of things in your features that would come back at a mix of different events. So if you open up your character sheet, if you go through to core, you would see that some of these things under features and traits, or at least the things that are limited use, some will come back during a short rest, some will come back during a long rest. I just want to check Bardic Inspiration because I don't remember if it's short or long. So that's long rest. But I think that there's later on certain features that you can use between short rests.
Okay.
Anything else anyone wants to do? Otherwise, are you guys pressing on?
Onwards.
Oh.
Alright, fine. Curiosity gets the better of me. I'm going to tap the keg and see if it's full of something.
Sure. Can you... I don't think you'd need a check for this. So as you kind of tap the keg and kind of open up the... what is it? The nozzle. It is completely empty. You can try and remove the top of the keg to see if there's anything at all in there, but it's kind of all glued together and got iron rings on it.
Nah, I give up. If I give it a shake and it's empty and it doesn't slosh or anything and doesn't make any noise when I kind of push the keg around, then I leave.
As you kind of push the keg around, you find that it's actually bolted onto the ground on some legs. And it's kind of held in place. So you would have to try and lift it out of its kind of resting place to be able to slosh it around.
Seeing that he's kind of lingering behind, playing with the barrel, I ask him, does he think there's something in there?
I was just thirsty, and then I leave the room.
Okay. So as the party returns to the hallway, What do you guys want to do?
We made a bit of noise and nothing's come to get us. Should we try the room across?
Yeah, alright, same deal. Breach and clear.
Breach and clear, they reckon.
Yeah,
Okay,
gonna
we're
open the north door.
let me just bring up what's in there.
How long do torches last for?
They last for a decent amount of time.
Cool.
I think it's an hour.
Okay, so like with the I don't have to like say before I short rest. I'm putting out the torch to save it, right?
Oh.
Or
I would.
We're not just gonna sit in a dark room for half an hour.
well, you can see. Why not?
Okay, true. I can see.
Didn't you have a bonfire there?
Yeah,
only lasts a minute.
True. But yeah,
It only lasts a minute, and if he sat there concentrating on the bonfire, then that's what he would have to do for the time. I would probably say at this stage you probably mark the first torch off your inventory. Yeah. So are you kind of listening into the door first, or are you just going to breach and clear?
well, I did say I was just gonna breach and clear. I didn't attempt to listen to it, so I'm gonna just crack the handle and kind of open it a little bit, push it open.
Oh god, there's something in there.
Is it more swirlies?
I can't tell.
So as you kind of push open the door, you can kind of hear a clattering of bones and metal as what actually let me see what Jordo sees.
Not a lot.
Jordo sees nothing.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. You have to be like straight in the doorway. Like I can't just peek my head round.
Callison and Shook, as this door kind of slowly creeps open, you get a view of what looks like skeletal remains that are standing on their own. As the door creaks open, they turn to face the door. And again, we will roll initiative.
Damn. Fucking shrunk.
Nice.
Shock.
Here's hoping we can take one out before they get a turn.
Perfect. All right. So opening things up, Shrock, you've got the lead.
So because they're all skeletons, does that mean they all get the same initiative?
I find it easier to group them,
Sure.
especially as more creatures get onto a battlefield. It can be very troublesome to
Yeah, fair enough. Cool.
keep track of, everything's initiative. And for that, I'm going to group them all under the one and have them act together.
Skeletons have weakness against bludgeoning, right?
So it's like you don't really have much understanding or background with skeletons.
Fair enough,
It's not
yeah.
something that you've necessarily studied.
Okay, I'm just gonna go in.
Mhm.
I'm going in. Closing the door behind me so they don't have line of sight inside.
Where the
And
fuck is he going?
gonna use thunderclap.
Okay. Clap those cheeks.
Opens door. Orc walks in and closes door. What the fuck?
100 feet away! Also, I thought I was supposed to have like 3 level 1 spells, but I only have 2.
3 spell slots at level 1?
I don't think
well,
it's 3 spell slots he means. I think he means he should know 3 spells. Let me bring
yeah.
up the druid. So, Adrian, just to be clear, the range indicates how far the reach is. If you stand there and cast it, you will only hit the first skeleton and Jordo.
Oh.
100 feet?
It can be heard from 100 feet. So everything within this entire fortress within 100 feet just heard his cheeks clap, but only things within 5 feet are damaged.
Where does it say 5 feet for damage? Range 5 feet at the top. Thunder is where that can be heard from 100 feet, range 5 feet. Okay.
So if you didn't know that about the spell, then like we can
Yeah, I
retcon
didn't know.
that. If you thought it was anything within 100 feet gets damaged, I can understand that.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So it's only within 5 feet. So if you want to reconsider your actions there, that's...
Can I reconsider my life then?
You may.
Okay, that's the only touch move I'll do. Redo. I'll just monk one of them.
He has decided he wanted to take a different spell.
Oof.
Sorry, just bear with me a sec, John. I just want to check on your sheet. Your wisdom modifier is 2. So you should have 3 spells prepared.
Yeah.
So if you just look at the... we might actually have to look at this later, because I have thoughts that there might be something else that needs to be considered there. But let me just move through combat first. So you are using vicious mockery. Which one are you mockerying?
Bottom left.
Bottom left? Okay. So it is going to make a wisdom saving throw against the sheer mockery of it all. It makes its saving throw, so it doesn't take any damage.
And I'm pulling back.
Sure. Put the pen away.
Roughly how far is a square?
5 feet.
5 feet, okay, cool.
So, Callison, you're up next.
It's been more than 6 seconds.
Freeze in fear of the skeletons. Not knowing.
Yeah, cool. So a breath attack from a doorway would hit both or hit.
So let us see. You ended up with white, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it would be a 15-foot cone. So it would be
So I'd have to go up there.
Cone roll 20. I wish they would just give us a fucking cone overlay.
Yeah.
But there's people who how do you put it? Like, you can buy them as like add-ons, and I just do not understand why I've got to pay extra, especially when like the people who make it aren't benefiting from it. Like, the people who make Roll20 are only making a small amount of commission on people buying a fucking measuring thing. So I would say if you're going for a cone, that would hit the 3 of them. If you want to try and hit those 3, I think 3 is the most you'll be able to get in any cone in this room.
Oh, I see. The cone's pretty short, isn't it? Yeah. Cool. All right.
Yeah. So it's 3
wide range. Yeah.
3 squares away from you. And then actually it's 15 foot wide at the end, so it's kind of a bit wider than that, but I don't think there'd be an angle you'd hit all 4.
No, I'm not going to get all 4. No, fair enough. Yeah, those 3 will do.
Yep. Okay. So as you use your breath weapon,
Just trying to find it.
it should be under features. Because it comes from you being a dragonborn.
Features?
Yep.
I
So
see
features
breath
and
weapon,
traits, bottom
yeah.
right.
Okay. Oh yeah, it is there. Cool. So I'll just click on it. I have to. I see it's only 8 plus 2. It's only 10. Oh wow. Okay. It's not bad.
So looking at it, it's 8 plus your constitution modifier plus your proficiency bonus. So it would be a DC 12.
Well,
And then
proficiency
everything
of what?
within
Where's my proficiency bonus?
top left of
Oh,
your
there
screen.
2. Okay. And where does that come from? Like.
That comes from your character level. So
Okay.
at various character levels, you get more and more. If you don't multi-class, then it's very clearly on your class sheet. If you multi-class, you need to refer to another table.
Okay. Cool.
So I don't know if they've made that clickable.
Yeah, it
If you-
doesn't seem to be. It just like opens more info and then closes
Sure.
more info.
So you'll have to manually roll the damage. So if you type in /R space 2d6, that will come out with
What about? Well, they all fucking saved it. Fuck.
Yep. So they all take half damage, which is 3.
Cool.
Which is still decent, as you know, your
Sure.
white means that you exhale cold. As your frost breath just kind of fills up this space, and all of the skeletons just kind of become a little bit more brittle in their movement. Doesn't slow them down, but it looks to make them more strained as they try and exist.
Yep.
And there we go. That's a good example of it. Your breath weapon recharges on a short rest.
Cool. If I'd known that before, I would have used it earlier. Fuck. Anyway, but yeah.
It's
Cool.
okay. As you had walked up to here, if you walk away again, you'd provoke an opportunity of attack. It's up to you.
Actually, I'm just going to stay here then.
Okay. Then going up to the initiative order, if there's nothing else, then we can pass it on to Leon.
Okay, not having any fucking clue what's inside this room yet, just seeing that the orc started pointing and making noises, and then the...
Didn't the orc take a fucking opportunity of attack them? He moved into the same spot.
We did a rollback for him
Did we?
because
Oh,
he
okay.
didn't know
Yeah,
what his
fair enough.
ability did,
Okay, yeah.
so we were just like, do over rather than...
Oh, yep, yeah.
Yeah, so you walk in and just there's a fucking weird noise that happens in there. I'm like, the fuck is going on in there? I'm gonna stick my head around it. Oh my god! I closed the door and then run down the hallway. No.
If you could give me a dog cunt roll.
Which stat is that against?
Charisma.
Out of interest. No. Yep, well, a sworn enemy, the fucking undead. I'm gonna get in there. So that's where I'm moving to.
Yep.
Past, kind of push in past behind John there. And
undead, let me get him, yep.
And then drop an overhanded swing at the first one.
Give us a roll. You're up against a 13. So that is a 20 dealing 14 slashing damage.
Needed that.
As the great sword, you just bring it down, just hitting right into the corner of the neck and just slicing all the way through as the skeleton goes from this kind of animated undead to just another pile of bones on the ground.
Boom.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
yep. You are happy where you are, you don't want to move, nothing like that?
No, I think that's fine.
So I'm going to move the skeletons up for their attacks. So the first one is going to be a short sword swing at Jordo. 20 to hit
Oof.
for 7 piercing damage.
Are you fucking kidding?
Is that a crit?
Get half fucking killed?
No, it's not a crit.
Okay.
Oof.
And then I
Rip
hate the
me.
coloring. A 9 and a 21.
Oh, wait,
So
the line doesn't hit. Yeah, cool.
yeah. So
Alright,
what's your
and
AC?
game
John?
over. Thanks, good game.
No,
See you.
those are on me. Not you.
Do you have
so
12 health?
No, but 7 doesn't hit. Like the attack of 9.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Luckily.
it is very readable if you turn dark mode off, but my fucking god, can you not read it in dark mode? That is so bad.
Yeah, it's
Black squares.
black on grey.
Anyway, so John, I think only the 21 hits, so you take 5 points of
Yep.
piercing damage as they kind of jabbing at you with short swords.
Yep.
Drawn.
Fuck me, those were some good rolls on their half.
Yeah. I don't know what their baseline constitution is, so it's like, what did they all roll? Like, all the fucking right-hand sides are all fucking would have been hit and fucking fuck you.
You can
Anyway.
actually hover over the number, and it shows you how the number was calculated.
I guess I only have a +2.
They have plus
Plus
4.
4.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
So they're rolling 4 to 24, and they came out with 29, 21.
Oh, for the... Okay, yeah, I was looking at their constitution. Oh, cool.
Yeah. So they rolled statistically high.
That concludes the skeleton's turn.
Yeah, fucking high rolls on attack on all of them. Oh, fucking... Yeah, okay.
One got a low roll of
That's fair.
5. The other two's got high rolls.
Hmm.
As we bring back up to the top of the initiative order for round 2, Shrook.
Okay. Which one's badly damaged?
None.
None. There's one that died, and that's it.
They've all
And
taken
others.
3 damage. Oh wait, no. Which was the one that hasn't
The
taken the
bottom
3
right.
damage? The
The
bottom
bottom
right
right
one. So yeah, bottom right full health. The other 2 have taken 3.
God, thank you for reminding me that. For whatever reason, I had only updated the damage on one of the 3. So yeah, they're moving slow, but they still seem to be at fighting strength. That one is just a pile of bones on the ground, which has the little.
It can stand on that now that it's dead? Or no?
You can
You
stand
can.
corpses, yeah.
I would say that it's difficult terrain, so moving through a corpse takes 10 feet of movement as opposed to 5.
Sure.
I will still reach it, right?
So if you were to like move in through to that top left corner here, you'll take an opportunity of attack from this one on the right.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Can you move diagonally?
He can, but there is a wall that is here, so he has to move through the doorway, which will provoke from here.
Can he move to like the top right corner of like the empty space between the two?
I would say that they're probably going to be blocking, and you'd take an opportunity attack from both if you tried to push past them.
Oh, okay.
Hmm. What action does Bardic Inspiration use?
Sure. So it is I want to say bonus action. Yeah. You use a bonus action to inspire someone, and that gives them access to your bardic inspiration die. And then they can use that d6 to augment an ability check, an attack roll, or a saving throw within the next 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes.
And 10 minutes is gonna take almost this fight, right?
100 rounds of
Oh, yeah.
combat.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm gonna cast Bardic Inspiration on Jordo.
No,
Hi,
wait.
I'm Leon.
Yeah, okay. He's the more damaged one, right?
Yes. I took 7.
Cast it on him and mock the one in the middle.
Okay.
Can you
So-
put the info on in the chat so I can read what Bardic Inspiration does?
There you go. But in essence, just take note that you've got a 1d6 that you can add to your next, like an ability check, an attack roll, or a saving throw. You get to use it once. That's it.
Is that attack rolls to hit? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't do additional damage.
Yeah. Cool. So.
And then are you attacking the one in the middle, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Directly
So
up of
it's-
John.
Yep. It rolled a natural 1 and it has -1 to wisdom. So it rolled a 0. So it takes the full 1 point of damage. As it just kind of looks at you like, what did I do to you? Why are you being so mean to me? You can just kind of see, like, the expression of the skeleton almost show, like, a level of misery that you would never have expected from an undead creature.
Wow.
As we move on to, I believe, Callison, you were next up in initiative.
The pity.
I really need to look up how I can keep track of it on my screen because it's annoying me. Every time I'm just scrolling up and seeing whatever I'm rolling for initiative.
Cool. Yeah, okay, I'll just cast Frostbite on the northmost one.
So it needs to make a Constitution saving throw. So
Hey,
it rolls a
finally.
5 and takes the 6 points of cold damage. One thing that I might just suggest so you understand, like the whole, what is it? It's a bit metagame, but it's also important to understand that this is the way things work. So in 5e, when something has disadvantage, it can't have multiple levels of disadvantage.
Oh, and he just had. Oh, did he give it disadvantage?
Yes, through Vicious
Oh,
Mockery. So
okay.
because it failed its Wisdom saving throw on Vicious Mockery, it has disadvantage on its next attack. If you were to instead do it to the one to your right or left,
Yeah, then I would have given try and make
Yep.
disadvantage on the one to the right as well.
Yeah. So I'll assume that was the way that you had thought through it in the.
It was mostly the disadvantage thing that I
Yeah.
wanted.
Yep. And disadvantage is very strong because, well, you see how the numbers be.
Yeah.
So you kind of cast out your frostbite on it, and like the others, it kind of starts to struggle to make its normal movements, but not so even to a greater effect than when you had casted your frost breath mouth breathing effort. This is really, really slow in movement now. It's really taking a lot of its force to be able to continue to move while affected by this.
Cool.
As the bones kind of turn white and there's little crystals forming on it.
And changing equipment, how long does that? That's a one action thing, isn't it?
So it depends on what sort of equipment we're talking about. If you wanted to change what you've got in your hands, it is a free action where it doesn't consume anything. But if you were trying to do it twice in a turn, then it would consume an action. So if you had, so to cast any spell that has a material component, you would either need to access your components pouch or an arcane focus, or druidic focus because druid. Apologies. But if you wanted to sheathe a sword and pull out your spear or something like that.
So frostbite's vocal, so I don't need a
vocal semantic. So the two things you need is one, the ability to speak, and two, the ability to move at least one hand freely.
Which could be holding anything.
Yep. So as far as we've discussed so far, you have a torch in one hand and nothing in the other. So you would use the empty hand to do the semantic component.
Speaking of which, you never went and got your fucking spear from
Yeah,
the
I
other
can't-
room.
Well, it's a fucking 2x2 room. I kind of figured it like we'd.
No, you didn't
Always-
say it, so it didn't happen.
Oh, fuck off. Seriously,
That's
it's
the
like one of.
game.
Oh, fuck you. Like,
I'm not gonna
seriously, we're spending half an hour in a tiny little room.
And you forgot. You forgot.
I did not forget. It seemed fucking.
Yeah.
So because you stayed in the room, yes, I would say it. But if you had have kept walking on without
Yeah.
declaring it, I would have said that you just
Hey,
forgot about it.
Yeah,
And in a session or two, I would have reminded you of your mistake and then made you punished for it.
sure.
Um,
So can
yeah.
I pull out a shield and equip my shield in my free hand?
If you have a shield,
really,
you
I
can
would've
then pull out the shield to be in the hand that didn't have the torch in it.
And that means you
Yeah.
can no longer use spells that have a
Material or
Yeah.
semantic component.
Sure.
until you drop the shield.
Until I drop the shield. Cool. Yep.
I am looking at your inventory and I do not see a shield though.
Wooden shield. A fourth one?
I see the shield now.
I don't even know what a wooden shield does.
It
Plus
increases
2 to your AC.
Ah, okay, cool.
So I think where it is shield. Yeah. So you've got it equipped now. So
Cool.
if you push the little bubble next to the wooden shield item, there's a tick box for equipped. And as long as it's equipped, it changes your AC.
Oh, I see. So it's automatically equipped. Is it?
Yep. So by default, the game just assumed you had it on. So your AC was probably 13 before you pulled it out.
Yeah.
I don't think it had any gameplay effects. And again, it's one of those things where I'm like, oh, I just accidentally hit something in my fucking bookmarks and went away from the game.
See you, mate.
Anyway, rejoin as GM.
I see. So the okay.
It like again, the way in which I play these games is I'm not going to go back and try and reverse any of that, but let's be careful moving forward. Okay, was there anything else you wanted to do with your turn?
No, that's good.
Okay, perfect. Then next in order, I believe it's Leon.
Yep. In a simple turn, I'm just gonna take the stab from the skeleton that attached me, and then return with my own stab with the greatsword.
Mm-hmm.
Aiming for his chest, just trying to stab it.
You can't pull back and throw your sword against it.
Yeah, try and crush it into the wall behind it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, can I retroactively apply that bardic inspiration? How do I add the 1d6 to my hit roll?
Okay, so let's see. Using before deciding to use the bardic inspiration die. Okay, so you get to pick as long as I haven't said whether it hits or not. Which is
cool.
pretty much why I took the pause.
Great. Yeah, add it to the 11.
Yep. Okay, so just type in /roll or /r 1d6 or d6. Perfect. So that's definitely going to hit. All of the notes I had open were closed because I accidentally pushed a bookmark, which was nice. So let me just confirm. So yeah, its AC was 13, so 16 hits, dealing 9 points of damage. It looks real beat up. You've really pushed it up against the wall using the full force of your sword to just kind of slam it there. He's looking real beat up, but he's not out yet.
That's alright. I got nothing else, so that's the end of my turn. Here's hoping you don't fucking kill me.
Cool. And then first up, the one that you were in combat with, 18 for 7.
And down I go.
And fucking 7 again.
Yeah, that's me out.
Okay. So Jordo hits the floor as the like he had the skeleton almost pinned with the great sword, and then the skeleton just swings around with its short sword and just clocks Jordo, and he just hits the ground and he's starting to bleed real heavy. The other 2 are going to swing at
Fuck you, game. Fucking 16 and 19.
Tellison.
Rip.
So the first one hitting with the strike, dealing 5 piercing damage as he takes kind of like the sword to the chest, while the other one just completely missing, just can't bring his arm fast enough.
Well, good luck, Shrog.
Oh,
Shrog.
how much health are you on?
0.
Oh, yeah, you're not updating your character sheet as you take damage.
I did. I was on 5. And then I rolled it down to 0. Whatever reason it's not
Oh,
updating for
God,
you.
I fucking hate these tokens. Give me a sec.
Should I update my own token?
Like, do I have to?
No,
Mine
no,
is
I
Do I
hadn't linked the token
character
back
to the-
to John, so it was showing him still at full health when he was damaged. Okay.
Good luck, Shrock. You can do it.
play the horn? It's the horn of retreat.
To be fair, I think 2 of them are on 1 tap, so you probably only need to make like 3 or 4 rolls.
If I
Yeah, go
move,
grab another beer.
yeah, if I move back, the one to the right won't be able to hit me, right? With
Correct.
opportunity of attack. Okay.
See you, Shrock.
Go find Nick's character.
Yeah. Feel like we may need a 4th for this one.
I'm gonna mock the one in the middle.
Can't believe they made all of those hits. That's fucked.
That's retarded. And also high. Like, like 1d6 and it fucking hits 7 fucking each time. Like, there's a +2. Like, it hits 5 every fucking. Anyway.
Fuck me.
Ran into a bunch of skeletons and didn't live to tell the tale.
Then I'm pulling back.
As the depression sinks in, so does the skeleton. I just need to go to the bathroom 1 sec.
Yeah, it's a bit rough when you get hit by 2 attacks and you're dead.
It's level 1 for you.
Thanks, I hate it.
If I was level 3, I would have healing abilities and shit. And be able to, like, okay, I got hit, so I mitigate that with a resource. At level 1, you don't have any resources. It's just straight up the dice.
Good news, everyone. I don't have any heals.
None of us do.
I mean,
Well, that's
there's
level
no opportunity to fucking heal. Like, I guess I could have healed him for Jordan for 3, but I'd still be dead. Like,
Yeah.
All right. So after Shrock is Callison.
Oh,
If you could make a death saving throw for me.
not sure if I hit the right thing.
Oh my god! I pressed a bookmark again. Just as I... that's going to get irritating.
Suddenly, a tiefling phases back into existence at the entry of the room, saving the day.
Scott, have you heard of the extension tab jump?
Extension 1?
Tab jump. It can lock your page.
I had not. It's not a problem that I've really had to deal with too heavily.
Depending on your monitor setup, Scott, you may just want to hit that with an F11.
Hitting it with an F11.
Just hit it and see. And if
Isn't
it's
that full screen?
Yes.
No, I don't want to do that.
Okay.
I've got an ultra wide monitor, so I've got
Yep.
Adrian's stream up on the left third of my screen.
Mm.
The actual GM view on the right 2/3, and then on my left monitor I've got Discord and my DM reference guides that has all the useful mechanics that I need to talk about. Which is something that it's nothing confidential. I could probably just share this just to kind of give you an idea of what shortcuts there are. Anyway, so yep. So Callison, just mark 1 failed on your death saves on your character sheet.
Rude.
Get
Why was
failed.
it failed? What was I trying to roll?
Over
Yep,
10.
so you need to
over
roll over a 10.
Sure.
If you roll a nat 20, then you automatically come back up with 1 HP.
Sure.
But if you make 3 successful saves, you still come back with 1 HP. If you lose all 3 failed saves, then you die. There is ways of reviving people, and should someone die before level 3, there will be mechanisms to bring them back. But while we're down here, this is what we're running with. So after that, I believe Leon and then the skeletons.
Hey, congrats.
Okay, I'm done.
So then we're going to have the skeletons chase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 2
luck,
skeletons are chasing Croc. And then
The one lagging behind is the damaged one, right?
they're both damaged.
Mhm.
But the one lagging behind is more damaged, and the one
That's the one that killed Jordo.
Yes, the one lagging behind is the one on 1 HP.
Mhm.
To metagame it just a little for you.
this is where I wish I had access to fudging rolls, but here we go. Does an 11 hit to kill you?
I have 14 AC.
It does not, as it tries to make a swing at you and just misses. You're up.
Because of that, I'm gonna mock the one behind.
Sure.
I'm tanking. Ooh, 2 damage. It's going to be necessary. Does it do the save?
Wisdom.
Oh, game over. GG, boys.
Oh, we really
This
need
was an
Nick here, don't
optional
we?
room.
This ain't long for this world.
Okay.
So are the
So-
skeletons level 1 or are they skeletons?
The skeletons, they are level 0.25.
Wow.
So in total, they're all level 1.
Yes. But I'm sure you've heard me meme on the whole action economy thing in the past. This is where having more of them and less of you is painful. All right. So we might have to work out how to retcon some of this as we go doubled up.
No.
Double
Just-
misses.
Wow, now they're missing.
Everything. Yeah, no.
Fucking
Yep.
shit.
Well, we got all the good rolls out of the way. Sorry. After Shrock, I needed death saving throws from Callison and Leon.
What about
So
the third?
Leon's got to fail.
What about the third skeleton? Or is it
It's
dead?
dead.
It's dead. It got sad and fell over.
Oh, really? Oh. Where's my death saves? There we go. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
1-on-1.
There we go.
I mean,
You're
if we
both 1-on-1.
succeed our death throws, we can get back up and get one last swing at the skeleton and probably
Mhm.
make it through this one combat.
Yep.
With 0 resources left.
Well, we can have a long rest. And
Well, can we? But yeah, sure.
All right. So back to the top of the round as we move into round 4 of combat. Trock.
It's been a brutal 18 seconds.
It sure has been.
Oh yeah, that's a good time to use that.
oh no!
All right, guys, I won the combat. Every door opens.
So do you want to move up here so you hit both of them?
Dragon 100 feet away in the Underdark. Here's you. Sorry.
How can the one behind try to attack me if he's not within my range?
Sorry, you're right. I made the mistake. Now both of them get opportunities of attack if you move. Okay, where is my buttons?
Could it move that way, that far? That's 7 tiles away from where it was.
Yeah, this is the second round for them. The
Oh,
first
I
round
see.
they only got one swing.
Okay.
Okay, so the
Okay,
top
nice.
one saves, the one at the bottom does not. And you clap your cheek so hard, another one falls. It's 1v1.
You got this, Shrug. Is that our turn for death saving throws, or was that already done?
No, it will be your turn again for death saving throws, and then it will make its short sword attack.
Oh, 1 and 2.
Oh,
Oh, God. I blame Nick for this TPK.
What TPK?
5 piercing damage, my dude.
oh.
I'm 3 HP.
Yep. I would remind you that you do have one more spell slot.
Yeah, I was gonna use it.
Okay, good.
I don't suppose I can cast it at a higher level than 1, right?
You would only have the one, like, you'd only have level 1 spell slots at this stage.
Ooh, good damage roll. Wait, no. 3d6. Jesus Christ, that's a terrible damage roll.
Does it make the save? 12 against 13? No, it does not.
Whoa.
Oh.
Come on.
A 4, a 1, and a 2 on 3d6. God.
As it also falls. The whispering of death finally takes this undead being. Everything is dead.
Including Leon, because the next death saving throw is under 10. Good night, everybody.
It was good knowing you.
Okay.
All right, see you next week.
Thanks to the tutorial, Scott. That was good.
Yep.
Going back, getting a refund. I'm pretty sure that was under 2 hours, so I can refund that on Steam.
Oh, that hurts. Okay. So let me just check something for the throw. Oh. Okay. So, like many adventurers before you, you'll have to learn. So what I would say from here is that if you can make an effort to be able to recover the bodies, then you can bring it back to the person who's meeting you at the top of the rope, who's probably dropped you guys off an hour or two ago, and seek guidance to be able to resurrect in a nearby town.
Okay, I will do that. How do I know if I can drag them there?
And up the rope.
One at a time.
80-foot fucking rope.
Good thing it's the orc that's still up.
Yeah.
I actually believe he may have the strength.
I weigh 280 pounds.
All right, well, you're fucked.
Yeah. So what I would say from here is the or Shrook. Shrook is kind of able to bring you guys or your bodies back up to the top. Remembering because of this mysterious dagger that there's a trapdoor and avoiding it and making the way up regroups with the person who had been driving the cart, to drop you guys off to do this recovery effort. He kind of helps you go to the nearby town, which has a name that is less impactful. Please see God, give me a sec. I've got these notes. I swear, if I stop hitting bookmarks, they'll always be open. As long as I keep hitting. Okay, so taking you guys back up to the guy with the cart and heading across to Oakhurst, which is a medium-sized village, not too far from the site, and where this merchant family resides that had contracted you guys to do this work. You guys are taken to the local like church, cathedral that is in town, and seek the healing guidance from the main cleric there. He ritualistically casts something called Spare the Dying, which, as long as it's within, I think it's 12 hours of someone's death, it kind of brings them back on 1 HP. And you guys spend the night in Oakhurst. The cost, although definitely not free, has been covered as part of the insurance that is offered to you by the Merchants of Steel. You guys kind of return to retire at the inn in Oakhurst to kind of take a long rest and recover before considering whether you want to continue down the perilous existence that has been this fortress so far.
Keep in mind, while we were traveling, I'm playing my flute on a somber note.
Yes.
Luckily,
yes.
I'm dead and don't hear it.
I wake up to the sound of the flute and murder myself. Send me back. It was peaceful there.
The sombering note does bring you some warmth as you guys linger between life and death, never truly making it all the way to the celestial plane.
You missed an opportunity to play the world's smallest violin, Adrian.
Fair.
Say, to be clear, Adrian doesn't have a violin. He has a viol, which is smaller than a violin. And given he's an orc, like a full-blown orc, it looks pretty small. Okay. So yeah, I would say then that you guys would be taking the long rest in town, as you guys are able to recover your bodies, thanks to the strong Shrook effort, and at least having one party member still alive. If you had to finance the costs yourself, I think it's about 600 gold to be resurrected.
Yeah, sure. Not.
And now we start the campaign horribly in debt.
Which, luckily it's covered by the merchant party that you guys are, and maybe a little bit of charity because you guys are so young and adventuring. But I would say that after level 3, you guys are going to have to finance any deaths yourself if you can recover a body.
Wait, was that 600 per head, or?
Yeah.
Gotta buy a diamond.
Diamond's about 500 gold, and then you've got to, pay the man. But yeah. Neatly on technically the end of the scheduled session time, or about 10 minutes ahead of that. We kind of close out the start of our adventures. I'm not sure what you guys feel like now. I think that...
Can we level up yet?
I need to explain the way in which your spells are prepared quickly to you. And
Yeah, where's my third spell?
so let me just.
I also accidentally added a blank one, and I don't.
Isn't surviving whatever happened down there a milestone?
Okay, one of you survived what happened down there. Yeah, I'm just gonna say yes because of how brutal this dungeon can obviously be.
Might have been okay with the fourth person, numerically speaking.
Yep.
So I blame Nick.
Yeah, I blame Nick too. So everyone but Nick is level 2 now. Within the character
Thanks,
mancer, we can do the level up as well. I'm just trying to remember how. If you give me a sec. Character Mancer, level up, roll 20. Open up your character sheet, then in the settings menu, you'll click the launch level Mancer plus thing in the bottom right.
What?
So if you open
Click
up
the cogwheel.
open up your character sheet, hit the cogwheel next to core bio spells, and then select
Alright.
level up. So to kind of explain the way spells work for a druid, you how do I put it? God, words are so hard sometimes, guys. Like, bear with me. You prepare spells during a long rest. So you will have access to a set number of spells, which is your wisdom modifier plus your druid level.
Mm.
So at the start of the session, it would have been 3. After leveling up, it will be 4.
Yeah.
And all you do is you select which 4 druid spells you want prepared that day.
Yeah, well, that's what I did in the like character mancer to begin with. Is I chose 3, and only 2 of them applied.
Are we rolling for HP or using this button that says average?
So that is actually up to your discretion,
Oh.
but you have to choose before you click roll.
And what does average mean?
It means that it cuts the dice in half and then rounds up. From a pure statistics point of view, average is better, but I always roll. I don't like taking average. Perfect. Okay, let me then say re-rolling ones. A 2, you suffer. A 1 is too low.
Fuck me.
Rep. That's only 1 point under average.
Is it though? I'm not sure that it is. I have 10. I don't see how.
That 5 is correct as average.
Really? Okay.
So
that's
4's
fine.
only just 1 under. You're fine.
All right. Well, then that's fine.
It's not going to be too painful. Roll 20, adding.
Hey, fuck. Tools and resources I could use to have avoided that situation. Whoa.
Just seeing if there's an easy way to add spells for you, John. Bear with me.
Well, that's alright. I'm onto adding spells now in the level up thing, so I'll see if it adds it now.
Okay, cool. So let me give this character sheet to myself, and then I can share my screen. So if I look at there's testing character sheet under spells. So I can go into the compendium, which is the little I, select category spells, and then druid, then level 1. These are all the level 1 druid spells that exist. So I can just say click and drag.
Yep. Oh.
All the things that I might want to prepare in any given day. I'll just put them here. And then if I could prepare 4 spells, then I would just mark I'm going to prepare these 4 spells today.
Oh, I see. I can click them to see which
So
ones I have. Okay.
To make things easier, you can just click and drag everything, or you could just click and drag the things that you're likely to want to prepare each day into that, whichever's easier for you. And then just every long rest, mark which spells that you want to prepare that day.
Yep.
How does Smite work with this with Roll20? I'll give you some context. I am on the screen where I'm choosing my spells, my level 2 spells.
Mhm.
Or, I am the spells I get when I hit level 2. Anyway, on which I have the choice of 3 smites: Searing Smite, Thunderous Smite, Wrathful Smite. They're in the same menu as any other spells, so I could technically take things like Bless, Cure Wounds, Detect Good and Evil, Detect Poison and Disease, and then take 0 smites. Those are different type of smites to the smite that I would be used to using in Solasta, where I just get to click a button yes after taking a swing. Or
Yes, they are different. So the button you're used to is called Divine Smite.
Okay.
Sorry, give me a sec.
Yeah,
I was
that's
looking.
generally what
Divine Smite. So it deals 2d8 damage.
Yep.
And consumes a first level spell slot and
Yep.
1d8 for every additional spell slot level above it.
Yep. And so taking these is just if I want a different effect.
Oh yeah, but some of them are nice.
They are.
I wouldn't necessarily say that they're better. Like Bless is really good.
Oh yeah.
Cure Wounds obviously can be nice.
Oh yeah, no, those are already ticked. Don't worry, those 2 are already ticked. I was just wondering if I had to actually take a smite in this particular game in order to be able to use it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've got Wrathful, Thunderous, and Searing, and they have different effects on top, which would be nice, but I don't think it's particularly worth it at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
They're all also lower damage than just Divine Smite.
Yeah, pretty much. 300 feet is many feet.
I might not take that one.
Everything hears you. I mean, it's
good for bait, I suppose.
You don't necessarily know that. Like, you'll be in situations where it doesn't matter what hears you, right?
Yeah.
And having the additional power there is is nice. But yeah. 15-foot cube is a 3x3
Correct.
square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're pushed away, and then you can create space. Yeah, but it seems like in kind of constricted spaces is probably not the best.
You go in first. You're the flashbang. Reach and clear. Flashbang out. Dragon runs into room. Cast Thunderwave.
Oh, I should have gotten a bonus. Oh, fuck. Not too late for that.
What bonuses?
Like, I should look for something like a bonus action slot kind of deal. Like just something to use as a bonus action, but nice. How do I delete a spell?
From the game?
No, from my character. Like, I created a blank one.
Oh yeah, I was trying to work that out too. I'm sure there's a way.
Oh yeah.
You'd think it would be under the cog.
Yeah.
Because I was inappropriately testing something on Nick's character sheet, and yeah, he's got a blank spell as well. How to delete spells. Oh, okay. You see the lock icon?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected that's what that lock does.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, no, that wouldn't have been my first choice.
Seems a bit redundant, but whatever. Redundant.
Fuck, only 18 hit points at level 2. That seems low.
Oh, that's about right.
Yeah, okay.
It's almost like 1 HP under average.
I guess, but fuck. Really could have done with a few more.
You can take 3 attacks next time.
Sorry, I'm due. Well, it would have made. Yeah, anyway.
Mhm.
The
Yep.
thing is that
Mm.
going from level 1 to level 2 literally like doubles your character's power. It's pretty fucked. Now, if we would hit a room with 4 skeletons, we would probably just wipe the floor with them and be fine.
Yep, done the level
Yeah.
1 thing.
Both of you would have stayed up for the fight.
Yeah.
What I dare say one would have been knocked over, but they would have been stabilized. There wouldn't be a need to go back to town or seek assistance from who is it, the Merchants of Iron, and you know, you might still get a reward, but it's probably going to be less than what was originally agreed to, given the cost that you've incurred.
The reward is that you get to be alive.
Mm-hmm. Your character continues to not be dead. So yeah, again, obviously it is now the end of the agreed playtime, but I do not have any problem continuing if you guys want to. So far, just having a quick check how far in.
It's either this or a different video game.
3, 4, 5.
I don't care.
So far, you've maybe made it somewhere between. I'd probably say about a solid 10% in.
Nice.
I mean, a lot of that is questions about how things work. So
Yeah. And again, it's going to be a case like everyone has to learn sometime, which is why I wanted to start things from one ups.
Yeah.
Like it would have been nicer to like a lot of the times I would have a DM screen up and I would be rolling behind it, or just set all the monster rolls to like roll and just tell me, and then I can fudge it if I was doing a new group online. This is fine.
Yeah. Like, I think we all get the spirit of what's going on here. We could have fudged the rolls and made something else happen and blah blah blah, but we're just trying to play.
To be fair, the whole like mechanics around dying that low and then recovering bodies is very much built into all of these settings.
Who wants to play do a character sheet and then die in less time than it took them to make the character sheet? It's not a fun experience for anyone.
No. That's where it can get a bit rougher. On my point of view, I probably could have said, hey, you guys all have a potion of healing each, and it's something that I'm going to give you going into the next session, is each having access to one to
Everybody gets one.
allow for it. You guys will be able to recover more during rests now and all of that, so that helps a lot. I think that you'll have a better time going forward. The specific route that you took had more
Could have
combat
ignored those
than...
rooms.
Sure, it's just random.
Yeah, 100%. And
We don't know what's behind any of them.
That's kind of the joy of exploring as well, is you have no idea what's around the corner. It could be fucking nothing, and it could be what's gonna kill you.
Oh yeah. And at level 1, more likely the latter.
I'm just going to be right back 1 minute.
You
Yep.
would.
I'll go take a piss and then beer or something.
I'm gonna go microwave some food.